And we are live.
We are live.
Hello. Hello,
What's
everybody.
up?
How are you today?
I'm good. I can't do accents. Otherwise, I would, be funny back and give you an accent back.
Dude, so yes, live watch party, Superman the movie. I'm watching it from Vudu, but it's also on HBO Max.
And that's where I'm watching it from, HBO Max.
That's where Durban's watching it from. And it's just the original theatrical version, 2 hours, 23 minutes, 12 seconds long version. Now, the reason why we're doing this is our mutual friend, Aaron White, hit me up and was like, dude, Richard Donner just died.
Sorry, my phone. I remembered to put it on Do Not Disturb, but did I remember to turn down the volume? The answer is
right.
no.
That reminds me, I need to bring up the chat on that too. No, but Aaron White said that Richard Donner had passed away, and I was shocked. I mean, the guy was 91 years old, so like real shocker there. But and I was like, dude, if we do a live watch party, would you be down to join us in the chat? And there he is. He's here.
He's already here. What's up, Aaron?
He's already here. All right, cool. So, and that's what this is. This is a tribute to Richard Donner and the movie that put him on the map.
Yes.
So now I got to find where that pop-up screen went. Oh, jeez.
Oh, man. Didn't Richard Donner also do Scrooged? Like, he did Scrooged, and I think he did Goonies.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
a lot of great stuff.
He did. I know Goonies is so good. I
love Goonies. Goonies, like every time it's on, I just watch it. Maybe objectively it's not good. I'm not sure, but I love it no matter what.
Yeah, it's actually. I even thought about doing a live watch party of the Goonies because that's what I'm focusing on now is doing more live watch parties.
Yeah,
because editing's hard.
It really is, especially when your computer disobeys you at every turn. That doesn't make it easier.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And so and it just so happens that we landed that we planned for this live watch party today. But today is a milestone for you.
Yeah.
Durban, you reached 11,000 subscribers today.
I did. That was pretty amazing. And I hit 10,000 on July 2nd, and then I hit 11,000 today. And I'm just like, oh my goodness gracious. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, and you're at 9,000 like a month before that. Like you're moving up 1,000 a month now, man. Dude, explain to me like how does that feel to you? Like, are you ambitious about it? Are you nervous about it? Like, what's going on in your head?
I'm a little bit of both. I'm ambitious because it's on the one hand, it's like, let me keep churning out good content because hitting The Chosen, it's like I have found this community that just resonates with what I'm talking about, and it's been a blast being a part of that community. So now I'm ambitious. I want to create more high quality videos, resonate with the audience. Like it's awesome. It's also incredibly nerve-wracking because it's like, the bar's been set. Okay. We can do this. You can do this, Durban.
Well, that's how these things usually go. You start doing your best work when you feel pressured a little bit. At least I do. And you get challenged, so you challenge yourself to do better. So this is a good thing, and I have no doubt we'll be doing that 100,000 celebration for you, soon enough, my friend. So, but congratulations on the 11,000 subs. You've earned it, and thank you for always remembering the little guys and coming over to my channel and supporting all the other YouTubers like you do. So. Without further ado, you want to start this movie?
Yeah, let me head over. I'm on the HBO Max tab, so you do the countdown, and I will hit play.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Yes. I forgot something.
Okay.
I forgot to do my intro.
Oh, we got to introduce this thing, don't we?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do this real quick, even though it seems a little excessive now, but we will start the movie in...
It's a great
I worked
intro.
really hard on that intro, so darn it, I'm going to play it.
You got to play it. You worked hard on that. People need to see your hard work.
All right, man. All right, so countdown.
Countdown.
To Superman the movie, 1978 Richard Donner tribute. 3, 2, 1. Click.
Click. All right, Warner logo. There it is. Super old.
Yep. I always forget that they open this movie up with this little curtain thing that they do.
Oh yeah, well, you know what I really like about them opening with that, because it kind of sets the tone in a way most comic book movies don't anymore. Because the curtain opens and we open a comic book, and then we go into it. So in a way, it's like, hey, comic books are hokey. So just accept this world that we're bringing to you, because we're taking this comic book and we are bringing it to life. We're just acknowledging that right here.
Well, and it's a tribute to Superman himself. You know, that's the beauty that Richard Donner. That's the beauty that he brought to making this movie. And it reminds me of the 10 Commandments. You know, this Cecil B. DeMille.
Yeah.
You know, the way they did that opening curtain thing too.
Yep. Actually, I haven't seen that. I've seen it, but it's been so long. I actually need to go back to refresh myself on what you're talking about.
I see an Easter watch party.
There we go. I'm down for Easter.
All right, I love that movie. I have a weird obsession with the 10 Commandments. I don't know why.
Her. Those are some great classic movies from that time.
I don't think I ever saw Ben-Hur.
Oh, you should see not the new one, but the original. I love these opening credits. I mean, they take, forever and a day. But for movies back in that time where all those opening credits took forever and a day, I mean, this is almost like Star Wars level of pull you in and score rising up.
Dude, this is cinema. This is what cinema is about. This is, Wizard of Oz, Batman v Superman. This is a big event.
Oh, and the music crescendos with the Superman. Oh, gosh, I love it.
Man, I love that me and you are on the same exact timestamp.
Oh, isn't that great? How rare does that happen in our watch parties? One of us is usually 3 seconds behind.
Let's see here. Hey, Durban, binge watched your Smallville videos and wanted to ask what you would think about doing the Batman animated series.
Yes, I've actually been rewatching that, and then several other things caught my attention, but I would like to go back and rewatch it again because, the thing that's hard about that is season 1 of Batman the Animated Series. I don't know if HBO Max did a clerical error, but there's 63 episodes bunched into season 1. That can't be right.
Yeah, no.
But yes, I would love to do that. I love Batman the Animated Series. It's one of my favorites, along with Superman the Animated Series.
Yeah, I loved Batman the Animated Series. Now, Aaron White here, I like the Smallville series finale. Also did the comic book intro. Oh, see, now this is the thing. This is where I might lose a lot of respect here. But Durban knows that I have not watched Smallville ever. I think I've seen 3 episodes, maybe.
Well, let me tell you, Steve, it'll be difficult because Smallville has got some stinkers. It's easier to do it when you're binging it all together. But even with all the stinkers, there's some great stuff. And one of the things that Smallville does so well is it pays so much homage to Richard Donner and what he did with Superman. And so one of the great things that they do in that series finale, not to give away too much for you, is it does open with them reading a comic book, and it ends with this Superman the movie music. It's brilliant.
But ironically, I mean, I don't know if it's ironic or not, but they had the Superman Returns logo, right? Is that
they had the Superman Returns suit? It was the exact suit, but Tom Welling, for one reason or another, refused to wear the darn thing, so we got gypped. And the series, that's my biggest issue with the series finale of Smallville. We got gypped actually seeing him in the outfit. 10 years, dude. 10 years.
Mercenary. Hello, Mercenary. How are you today? For everyone just tuning in, we are at the 4 minute and 33, 35, 36 mark.
Yep. This is the 2-hour, 23-minute version. I'm on HBO Max. Steve is on Vudu.
Yeah, and the first hour of it is apparently credits.
Yeah. You always forget how long the credits are until you're sitting through it. But like right now, those who are watching it with us, I don't know about you, Steve, but like the music is just filling me with so much energy. So I think I'm talking louder than normal because the music is just, it's pulling me right in.
Yeah, they really John Williams is, I mean, he always hits a home run, you know,
Always.
when he does the music, man. Like he is like, he is behind so much, so many iconic tunes.
And I love this. I love it. So now you're filled with all of that energy. Now we have this complete switch in tone as we are zooming into Krypton for the very first time. And I love it. Like for the 70s, it's like, these are really good effects.
Oh yeah. I mean, this was like the highest, like the highest budgeted movie of its time when it came out. It was like $55 million, I think.
And a comic book movie. So think about that. Here they are taking something off the funny pages straight out of the comics in the 70s, and they're giving it this huge budget. That was a major risk at the time.
Well, yeah, and it
was.
Well, and this movie went through like some evolution into it because it was originally supposed to start out like it was going to be like you know, the 1960s Batman campy sort of thing, you know, and then once they went through a whole slew of directors, and once they finally got to Richard Donner, you know, he decided to rewrite the script. He wanted to ground Superman. He wanted to bring it to more realistic as you can, you know, with comic book material. And I think he did great.
Oh, I think so too.
And Krypton looks cold.
Yes. I like
like an ice planet.
The one thing I never liked, even when I was a kid, is why is it so cold? Why is there no water, no trees, no plants? What do they drink? Like, even as a kid, I remember watching that going, how do you live on this planet?
Yeah, this is definitely Krypton looks like it's on its last leg for sure.
Yes, it does.
Well, that's the thing about the you know, the Man of Steel, the Zack Snyder version. He brought Krypton to life. That looked like a thriving planet of sorts, you know, like even though their government was their downfall, but you know, the planet itself looked full of life.
Yeah. And what was interesting on Snyder's version is you look up and you see the moon, and the moon is like cracked and pieces of it are like orbiting Krypton. And it's like, what is that history? And so on the one hand, it's alive. And on the other hand, you see the scars on the planet. You see the history. This is a great setup for Superman 2 right here, though.
It is. And unfortunately, it didn't pay off the way Donner had it originally, in the sense of they were supposed to come back, at least be reintroduced at the end of this movie.
Yeah, because this movie wasn't supposed to end with the world turning backwards. That was supposed to be Superman 2 that ended that way. So this one had a different type of ending. So like, it's just interesting to me, the history behind this movie.
Yeah.
I do love Zod, though, in this. This is like one of my favorite versions of Zod.
Oh, yeah. I forget the actor's name. Aaron, what's the actor's name? He's like, he was in Clockwork Orange. He was also in Rob Zombie's Halloween.
He's also Jor-El in Smallville.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Because you know, I haven't seen the darn show. So, all right.
It's just odd to hear Zod's voice as the voice of Jor-El, but he does a good fatherly quality to it. So it's interesting.
See, I've heard the production was a nightmare because they filmed the first movie and the sequel at the same time.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. No. Is it Michael, Eddie? Is that how you say that? No, they did shoot both. But that's not exactly what we got. I mean, everything about these first two movies was a nightmare, but yeah, you could definitely sum that up into production.
Well, they did both. They quit doing the second one after a while. And so they really had most of the second one done.
Yeah.
Filmed. Yeah. By done, I mean filmed. But then they went back and had to reshoot most of Superman 2 with a new director. They didn't have, Jor-El. So they had to rewrite all of that stuff and retool all of it. So it's a crazy backstory to this movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, and we can dive into what happened in the second movie too, as we go on. But like, yeah, but this movie is for the most part what Richard Donner wanted. He had
Yeah.
full creative control, and it wasn't. As a matter of fact, the only time he didn't have creative control was for the TV spot of this movie. So when they showed the TV spot, they actually extended it. They added a lot more footage in just so they could add more commercials into it and stuff. But
Interesting. I
He
didn't
didn't have
know
any.
that history. That's really interesting.
Yeah, he didn't have anything to do with that part. But
Huh.
so I know it's coming up here in just a second when they sent him into the Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
That's maybe in 1978. That was like some really good Phantom Zone CGI, but now it looks pretty darn hokey.
Yeah. I mean, even as a kid, I understood the concept. Phantom Zone, they're locked away in some weird little dimension, but like, I never understood this. What, did they summon the little glass square or what?
Like, you know what? Maybe this is like a cousin of that like cellophane S that Superman throws in I think the second movie.
I don't acknowledge the existence of the cellophane S. Like, and I only acknowledge the existence of the Richard Donner cut. And if I ever watch the theatrical cut, which I do I like the theatrical cut. I close my eyes and plug my ears. La 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 la. As soon as we get to that cellophane S.
Oh man, good times. But I love what they did here with these suits, these glowing suits, these reflective suits.
Yeah, it's really, on the one hand, it looks kind of like tinfoil, but it doesn't move or sound like tinfoil.
It's like that reflective stuff you see on the side of cop cars.
Yes.
But it does look like foil, but it's almost too bright.
It is, because it's outshining their faces. And so, like, it's interesting because it's taking the focus away from their faces and kind of darkening that.
You will bow down before me.
I think this was the first time the Superman S didn't stand for Superman, but it was a Kryptonian symbol as the House of L. So very cool to see that like that in this.
Well, and you see on the other suits, you see the house symbols on their chest piece as well.
Yeah.
Like of their own.
And I'm glad that's something that stuck, because I do find that interesting. And it's nice, Superman is, in modern versions is carrying a piece of his home world on his chest. Like, that's just
it definitely, it's a great evolution that made sense. It was one of those things like, oh, okay, yeah, we're just going to absorb that into mythology because now I can't imagine. Now thinking of it any other way just seems a little like hokey. Like
100%.
I just put an S on there because I'm super.
Yeah. Well, originally it was his mom who's like, "You're super," and so he got the Superman S there. But yeah.
Oh, honey, you are super. You're super to me. Wow.
I gotta wonder in this scene, what proof did Jor-El bring to this council that Krypton is dying? I mean, this is a pretty big apocalyptic claim, and you got to think Jor-El's a scientist. He had to have brought proof, but it might have been nice if they had a screen or something where we could see the core weakening.
Well, yeah, that would, but at the same time, starting this movie off with this sort of on Krypton, the prequel, what happened to Superman, why he's there, showing that it's such a big story in itself. Yes. I can kind of see why, like, maybe they did write it in, but they're like, okay, cutting room floor, it's a little too much to bring in.
Yeah.
Because that in itself, I mean, like you said, like in Man of Steel with that busted up moon in the sky, and all the things that happened on Krypton, that could be a movie in itself. And I believe it was a TV show. Is that TV show still on, Krypton?
I don't think so. I think it got like 3 seasons. I'm not sure if there's a 4th. How weird is it Superman has 3 collars and everybody else wears white?
Yeah. They did the same thing in Man of Steel too.
Yeah, that's true, because everybody else is wearing more darker subdue colors, and then for some reason I attribute it to that ship was thousands of years old, so back thousands of years ago they believed in color. That's just kind of what I thought.
Oh, because they were young and full of life, but once they started dying emotionally as a planet, they become more less
Right.
less saturated with the drab.
I like it.
Aaron says they got canceled.
That's what I thought. I wasn't sure, so I didn't want to like say that. But I only got through most of season 1 and it kind of lost my attention. I liked the concept. It was an interesting concept, but I don't know. It kind of just
I thought it was supposed to tie into the Snyder world,
I
didn't it?
think it
Wasn't it?
was, and then it kind of didn't.
Right. Like, didn't
Yeah.
they even change the S? I thought. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, that was weird. Now Aaron White, again, the one who messaged me, about Richard Donner's passing, who's in the comment section now. Aaron, I know you're just in the comment section, but if you could let us know what your experience was when you first saw this movie, because you are not just a Superman fan, you are the Superman fan.
Yes, I thought
mean,
I was the Superman fan, and then I met Aaron
no,
White.
yeah, you will bow before Aaron. Yeah,
Kneel before Aaron. Now, I think it was more than just the core of the planet on this one. It's the sun too. Everything's going nuts here.
Yeah, I think this one specifically is the sun.
Yeah. But I kind of like that. Supernova takes out the planet.
Scientifically speaking, they would have been wiped out way before this, and much slower over time.
Comic book speaking, we put Superman in the ship like Moses in the basket and send him to a new family.
Oh, here we go. We're gonna get some theatrical. What do you call it? Theological
Theological analysis. Yeah.
Gee, thank you. I'm like analyst. No, yeah.
The little blessing pronounced over him as he's now placed in the basket and is going to be sent across the sea of stars, where one day he will grow up and rescue his adopted world with signs and wonders.
Yeah,
there it is.
That's pretty much Moses. That's pretty much Moses. Yeah.
I think the original writers, like Moses, was in the back of their mind as they were creating this character.
Aaron White was 2 or 3 years old when he first saw this, and he's loved it ever since. Do you own any shirts that don't have a Superman symbol on them, Aaron?
I love Jor-El's prayer here, like his blessing over his son. The one thing I do like about Man of Steel, even though it's a vague explanation, it's still there. The fact that they're a slave to their genetics, and that's why Lara and Jor-El didn't go with him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of like that there was some backstory as to why the parents weren't going, but
and the whole collapse of the society, not just as a physical planet, but as a society, like the planet was doomed on multiple levels. But but you're right. Why wouldn't they go with them? Yeah, and this perfectly explains it.
And other comics get into it a little bit more, but I don't know. It's easy to go with it in this one. Like obviously they just didn't have time to build a big one. We got to save our son.
The baby actor of Kal-El is a girl. I don't think so, Aaron. Didn't they just show the little winky on there? They did, right? Like it's.
As I'm watching this, okay, again, it's taking me back to Man of Steel. Doesn't this remind you of Man of Steel when the little part the baby's sitting in rises up to meet the thing that's on the ceiling?
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. I didn't think about that till just now.
Yeah, Zack Snyder did a really good job paying homage to this original series. And a lot of people don't give him enough credit for this.
It's really hard to do Superman in any way without paying homage to what Richard Donner did.
Right.
I mean, this movie, whether you like it or don't, it's quintessential Superman. Like it embodies the heart and soul of what this character is.
Yeah, that's definitely a feat for the time that this movie came out because, as I said, they had the Batman TV series, which was all campy, campy. I mean, and for Donner to go outside of that and be like, no, we're going to
Yes.
bring this down to a grounded level. And for the studio who's Warner Brothers, who's been known to be very against that for some reason, to allow him to at least pull one of those movies out.
Yep.
It's a perfect storm. I still don't understand like why they meddled in with his movie. I think there was like some controversy, like he got into a fight with the producers or something like this.
Yeah.
Like there was a point in time where Donner and the producers weren't allowed to talk to each other without somebody overseeing it.
Yeah, that's 100% accurate. And there are documentaries that get heavier into this, and I've watched quite a few of them, and now it's been a while, so it's kind of slipping my mind. But I mean, I think a huge chunk of this is, look at this movie, dude. It's a huge risk. It's what you just said. Instead of Adam West, Batman campy, this is a bit gritty, like pretty darn gritty compared. And you got to think like, what kid is going to want to see this? We got toys we got to sell. We got the different types of fears they must have been feeling when looking at these risks that Richard Donner is taking. But it paid off.
And like even like right now, like the reflective suits that they're wearing is really just like playing into the danger that you're going through right now. The lighting is perfect. Now those bright white suits are all this red, like danger, blood, like it.
Yeah. Well, when I was a kid, I thought they were all going to hell. And for the longest time, when I thought of souls going to hell, this was the picture in my head.
I mean, yeah, why not? Jimmy X Wolvie says, "Will you believe a man can fly?" Great sales pitch back then.
Oh,
or yes, you will believe a man can fly. Yeah, because that's a great point, Jimmy, to bring up, because their wire work that they did in this movie is stellar.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it's not until you get to like Superman 4 when they reuse flying shots, but like in this one where they made it good.
Correction, Durban. Correction. They reused flying shot.
Right.
Just one shot.
That's right.
Over and over
I gave
and
them
over
more credit.
again.
I gave them more credit.
God, that movie, oh man, Superman 4 was an absolute shit show for sure.
Yeah, it's hard because, okay, so even the theatrical cut of Superman 2 is amazing. I mean, it's not as amazing as the original, but like those two movies are so incredibly good. And then Superman 3 is a huge step down, and then Superman 4 is
I will argue
such a step down that it's mind-boggling.
I will argue the Superman 3 comment there, Durbin. Superman 3 in my ranking was above 1 and 2.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, I remember you saying that.
Now, a lot of it was nostalgia because Superman 3 was what brought me into the Superman world. But like, just knowing what I know now about these films and the controversy that went into 1 and 2, and like we did get the Donner cut released 20 years later, but it still was like a Frankenstein of an idea. It wasn't like an actual thing, like it's hard for me to watch it because I know I'm missing out. I know I'm missing on something, and what we did get was not. It's the best he could do with, but 3 was very balanced. You knew exactly what you were going to get in it, and it stayed consistent from beginning to end. Yes, it was campier. Yes, it went for the low hanging fruit a lot of times, but it was.
I will agree
consistent.
with you on this with Superman 3. Annette O'Toole as Lana Lang. She is so good in that role, and her scenes just shined in Superman 3. And I love it because she's Martha Kent on Smallville. So, I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. She was great in Superman 3. Like, now, if you go back and watch my review series on all these, because I reviewed every Superman movie.
I remember that, Steve. I remember that. I remember you in the midst of that. Yes.
Margaret Kidder.
Oh, yes. I remember that. Yes. All your notes.
I do not like Margaret Kidder as Lois Lane. I think she's not represented well. I don't see what everyone else sees, and that's this love between her and Superman. What I see is some hussy trying to win a popularity contest to be with Superman. She doesn't care about Clark Kent. She could give two shits about Clark Kent. You know, like that's not a love for me. That's not true love to me. That's if she actually treats Clark Kent like a jerk.
Yeah. You know, one of the interesting things about the new show, Superman and Lois. So I know you haven't seen it yet, so here's a little spoiler.
I watched the first 3 episodes.
They have this episode where they do a flashback to that Superman's origins. And one of the things that is really nice is that Lois Lane does not fall in love with Superman. In fact, she's not super impressed with Superman. She falls in love with Clark Kent first. And that's a very interesting thing. And I don't know what's not lovable about this Clark Kent. I mean, yeah, he's a nerdy goof, but I think of myself in high school. I was a nerdy goof. I wanted love.
And you're not now?
I am a nerdy goof. I'm just saying, I'm look, wedding ring. I'm married.
We're 2 40-year-old men talking about movies on a YouTube channel. We're both nerdy goofs.
I resent that. I am not 40.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Embrace it, Durban. Embrace it.
I'll embrace it when I get there.
See these gray hairs?
What are you talking about, Steve? There's no gray hairs. I just got out of high school.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Here's some Freudian level psychological issues coming out in Durban right now. Oh, here comes little Superman lifting up the truck.
Now, see, I both love this moment and don't. I love it because, holy cow, this kid is an alien and not sent on a Russian spy probe, right? What I don't like is, doesn't it take time for a Kryptonian to absorb the solar rays? Or maybe that's just later versions.
Suspension of disbelief.
I can suspend my disbelief. It's just, you got to comment on something every once in a while. It's a great movie. Hilarious moment. I love it.
Crazy Hedgehog Lady. How you doing?
The Crazy Hedgehog Lady. I love it. I'm so glad you're here.
I used to have a hedgehog. Hope you're Nicole Lovecraft. I hope you're doing well.
I hope you're doing well. Nicole, we are at 26 minutes, 42 seconds. Now 43, 44, 45.
See, like Aaron White's loving it. He'll be 41 soon. He's loving life. Doing his Superman jogs every day.
Oh, there you go. You know, I used to jog. And then I realized it's painful.
I'll jog around the neighborhood, but I won't jog too far. Gene Harshaw, what's up, buddy? Gene Harshaw was just on my podcast on my other YouTube channel like a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I love that. Always hated Margot's Lane. Yes, thank you.
I am not in love with Margot Robbie as Lois Lane. I don't think I hate it, but I'm not in. What does Clark see in her when she's so mean to Clark and so loving to Superman? I agree. My favorite Lois Lane is the Smallville one. To me, there has not been anybody in live action that has done better than Erica Durance as Lois Lane.
All right. I'll have to watch it.
She pops up in season 4, which is simultaneously like the worst season of Smallville, but has some of the best stuff. It's weird.
Well, I'm actually a huge fan of the Lois Lane and Superman Returns.
I like her. Yes.
Yeah. To me, like the way I described that whole movie in my review was, it was more balanced of a movie because in all these movies you have Christopher Reeve, who is up here. He's running the show, which he should, right? But like the other actors were down here. You got Margot Kidder playing a very questionable Lois Lane, in my opinion. Gene Hackman just okay, he's Lex Luthor, sure. You know, like I don't know. It just those two together just don't add up for me.
Gene Hackman really kind of does what he's supposed to for this 1970s movie, right? He's mustache twirling villain. He really chews the scenes. But then you have Kevin Spacey, who kind of does the same thing. Like he's big on screen and all that stuff, but it's like he plays it in the right direction. I don't know if I could word it right or if I can word it better.
Well, no, you're exactly right. Like he took Gene Hackman's version and made it good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's how I agree on that one. Cause I like, it's hard because there's like nothing in this movie I dislike. I don't dislike, Margot Kidder as Lois Lane. I don't dislike Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor, but they're also, by a long shot, not my favorite versions at all.
Yeah.
And I've seen way better in all kinds of different movies and retellings. And sometimes it's hard because I don't like Gene Hackman walking around and announcing to the world, I'm the world's greatest criminal mastermind.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well, he's a genius mastermind. And if you don't believe him, just ask him.
But Kevin Spacey played that same character without walking around saying, I'm a criminal mastermind. He just was a criminal mastermind.
He did, but it was very lightly. He did it in one scene specifically. He did have that tone, but it made sense. It wasn't his primary fuel, but what I was saying about Superman Returns, and I know that movie gets a lot of flack, but to me, so you have Christopher Reeve up here, and then the other actors like down here, and that's consistent through the Christopher Reeve movies. But when Superman Returns shows up, and it's in the same timeline somehow, it is but isn't. Everything seems to balance out with the characters. Superman, the guy playing Brandon Routh playing Superman, like he doesn't quite hit that Christopher Reeve level, but that worked out, and everyone else brought their game up. So, to me, it just made more sense of a movie.
And I loved how you put that in your reviews, because I guess I'd never seen it that way or thought of it that way before. And as you were saying it in your reviews, I was like, I totally see that. Because again, Superman Returns is a movie I'm lukewarm on. Like, I don't hate it, but I also don't love it. Right. But it does have a lot of interesting concepts to it that I like. And I do like Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. And I like that version of Lois Lane and Superman. And she didn't totally hate Clark Kent. And so, it had those beats that I like and some great action sequences. And I loved the whole plot of Luthor getting a hold of the crystal to create more land. So going off the Gene Hackman character who wanted to create an earthquake, drop off California and have all this beachfront property. Now he's getting crystals to create his own beachfront property. I love it. But
dear God, let's just not poke any holes into that, master plan, right?
Yeah.
That master plan was god awful. Like literally the entire world military would have no problem taking him down.
Oh, I know.
It was only made to stop Superman. It wasn't made to stop the military.
Exactly. Yeah. But, to me, that just kind of fits the tone of these movies. And I don't mean that as an insult, but it fits to me, other than the timeline not making sense, it fits better than Superman 3 and 4.
I never heard that, Aaron. So Jeff East Clark Kent, that's the younger Clark Kent, if I'm correct. His lines were audio dubbed by Christopher Reeve.
You can hear it when you listen. And I always wondered
never noticed that.
What I love about this scene in particular right here, and I can't wait because I want to hear your thoughts on this, Steve. In Man of Steel, this is what the death of Jonathan Kent lacked for me, because this moment here where Jonathan dies of a heart attack, these natural causes.
Right.
Here is Superman, who is a messianic figure, who is overpowered to a great degree, standing in a graveyard saying all these powers, and I couldn't even save him.
Yeah, they definitely, when you compare this to Man of Steel, that scene is one of those Zack Snyder moments where the surface level of it, you're like, what? He could have saved his dad from the tornado, but it's the underlying meaning of it. And, his dad knew the world wasn't ready for him. And he trusted his dad. And that's a hard pill to swallow. You're right. Yeah. This scene, it makes that moment of Jonathan Kent's death more impactful to, to more humanize Clark Kent. But almost in the opposite direction, instead of humanizing him, it shows the burden he has to bear sometimes with the powers that he has. Yes. So I get it and I don't, but I also think that scene in Man of Steel also shows, it gives you a little glimpse into what, that little suspension of disbelief world that Zack Snyder was planning on showing us as the movies progress. You're going to get a little bit, here's a little glimpse into, okay, this doesn't seem too realistic, but moving forward, it's going to get more like that. So just be prepared. But that's probably me looking too little too deep into
Well,
it.
what I liked about the Man of Steel meaning, and I'm not talking about the scene because the scene actually infuriates me, but if I set that aside, what I like about the meaning of the death of Jonathan Kent in Man of Steel versus this one is our world is a little bit different now. We're divided in two and we fight on everything from politics to Star Wars. And I feel like the way Jonathan Kent held up his hand and said, the world is not ready, it's a reflection of the times that we live in. Yeah, the world was not ready. And so there's this element of fear. And it kind of puts this element of fear in Clark. When will the world be ready? Will the world ever be ready? And in a sense, you have to see when the time comes and he has to rise to the occasion. Like the time has now come. You see that he has to overcome some of those fears. And so I like that. I like that meaning as now he has to step into the light. I just didn't like the execution of it at all. Like, it's like, seriously, died for the family dog. Martha Kent's going to need therapy for the rest of her life because she goes, oh, the dog. I love dogs. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not. Yeah, no.
Yes, that scene is very frustrating. And like, even when I first saw it, I had my issues with it. I think a lot of me justifying what I'm watching, it holds some water, but I think it's also, again, just that me justifying it for myself. But like, okay, that's what I'm going to hold on to because that doesn't take away from my feelings of this movie. See, Gene Harshaw says, I'm waiting for an actor to capture the true swagger of Lex, like you see and read in the comics.
Michael
Durban. Yep, I was about to say, take that away because I know you know that.
Smallville, and I can never say his last name. It's Rosenbaum or Rosenboom. I don't know. But Michael, who plays Lex Luthor on Smallville, is my absolute favorite live action interpretation of Lex. If you're looking for that businessman, suave, stagger, but also that complexity of character, nobody carries that like Michael did in Smallville.
Yeah, I am on the fence, other side of the fence. I'm a huge Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor, only because I love the difference that it is. But yeah, what Gene is saying here, the true swagger of Lex in the comics, we actually haven't seen that cinematically yet, like in film, on the big screen. And that's
actually, who carries it even better? It's in Smallville, and it's the actor who plays Lionel Luthor, who is Lex Luthor's father. So you could almost see in Lionel what Lex is going to become and what Lex is resisting to become. The way they did that relationship, and you see that foreshadowing in the character of Lionel Luthor, there is some like calm, cool businessman swagger. So if that's what you're looking for, check out Smallville. But I agree, we have not seen that on the silver screen.
Yeah. There is that rumor mill of Bryan Cranston playing Lex. I could see that.
I could see that. And I heard that before we had Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was awesome. I would have been so down for that.
See, I'm alone here. I hated Jesse. Oh, here we go. Me too.
I am not a Jesse Eisenberg fan. I respect the different take and the risk to do that different take. And when I watch it and I go, that's not Jesse Eisenberg, that's Mark Zuckerberg. Like when I can see that as Mark Zuckerberg and not Lex Luthor, I'm fine. But when I know that's supposed to be Lex Luthor, I struggle. I really do. To me, that's just not Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I know I stand on a very lonely hill when I praise Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, but I praise it because I am not a comic book reader. I love comic book movies. I love movies.
Yeah.
And cinematically, like, what do I have to go to? I had Gene Hackman, and then I had Kevin Spacey.
You had Smallville, but you just refused to do it.
Listen, man, I saw you pull up in the driveway. You don't have to honk the horn, okay? When I saw Jesse Eisenberg, it really dove into the psychology of Lex, and not in the way that we would see. This is a man whose superpower is his intelligence.
Yes.
And the balance to that is his social awkwardness. He becomes very socially awkward, because of all the things going on in his head. And that's how I see that. Yeah. And like that, that's what I really like.
Yeah. I love this. this whole scene right here, where he gets the green crystal and it calls him out, the whole sense of destiny that this lays out just in these few minutes.
Oh, when he's, I want to know how he knew how to throw that thing into the water, though.
So I can't answer that. I can't. I can only speculate as a Superman fan, because did we hear a call? No. But there was something that connected with Clark, and he knew where to go. He knew that thing was calling him. And whatever that connection was that called him, I'm willing to bet it's that same connection that's giving him an instinct or an impulse to throw it.
Yeah, and this scene compared to the Man of Steel, like, I really enjoy what they did with that. He's doing the same thing. He's on this journey to find himself, and he ends up finding that mothership. And like that to me was like, that was great. That was not
I love that interpretation. That was
it was so good.
Yeah.
Gene, have you ever watched the Justice League Unlimited? I love Lex Luthor in that. My favorite DC EU, I'm pretty sure she means. The voice actor had the swagger.
Yes. I did not watch Justice League Unlimited, but I do love. Is it the same Lex Luthor in Superman the Animated Series? Because if so, I get what you're saying.
Is that the dude from Office Space? Or not Office Space, The Office?
Well, he did the voice of Lex Luthor in the more modern New 52 animated things. I'm talking about Superman the Animated Series from back in the day.
The 90s, got it.
Yeah, I loved that. I did not watch the Justice League Unlimited, though. I need to. I've had multiple requests to watch it, review it. I even did a theological analysis on one episode.
I was more the Batman animated series guy.
Honestly, I am too. Like, I love Superman, and he will always be my favorite. But in terms of the animated series, that Batman one nailed it.
Yeah.
But Superman is interesting.
Oh, that would be why. Clancy Brown.
Yes.
That's it. Dude, that guy, Clancy Brown, also does the voice of Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob. He was also in Shawshank Redemption, plays the voice of the fire devil guy in Ragnarok, the main dude, or the villain that takes down Asgard.
I didn't realize that was the same dude in Thor Ragnarok. That's even cooler.
Yep, that's Clancy Brown.
I love this. I like, for some reason, this where I picture the electricity being turned on in the fortress. But these little explosions are just so cool to me. I don't know why.
Well, I was watching a documentary with a movie director once. It was actually for Star Wars, I believe, and it was like the second Star Wars movie. It was one of the commentaries or whatever, and they're like, "Well, if you want to make things more exciting, just add a whole bunch of sparks to it."
Oh, this made it exciting.
That's what that was. It's a whole bunch of sparks.
Yeah, what's his face who does this Transformers movies? Yeah, that's what he does. Blow everything up.
Shadow Vessel. Hey, Shadow Vessel. How you doing, buddy? Clancy Brown, a.k.a. Kurgan from Highlander. You are a huge Highlander fan. That's for sure. That's one I still haven't seen.
So all joining us, 42 minutes, 47 seconds.
Yes.
That's where we are. This is another one of those great scenes. That music is epic here. Like, I don't even know how else to describe it. Like, the way it does that music, it has a hint of curiosity to it.
Yeah, it does.
Wonder, and it really makes this come alive as you're watching this young Clark Kent freaking out. Like, how does this even work?
All right, Nicole. All right, well, take care, okay? Hope if we see you back, we'll see you back. If not, then thank you for joining. We appreciate you.
Yes, thank you, Nicole.
This movie still has the dopest Fortress of Solitude ever, even after all these years. Oh yeah. This set design is incredible.
I mean, it's been used over and over again.
Yeah.
I mean, this was they copied this set design for Smallville. Like when he got his fortress in Smallville, it was this one.
And Marlon Brando.
Oh,
They
you
they
know,
they paid him over $3 million for 20 minutes of footage.
you know what's amazing?
And real quick, not to interrupt you, Durbin,
Go
but real
ahead.
quick, uh, Christopher Reeve only got paid, I think, $250,000 to do both movies.
I think he was brand new though. Like this
Yeah,
was his like
but
first
I'm just
experience.
saying,
Yeah.
like in comparison, Marlowe just won out on this, and they had to change. They had to change their entire city that they were going to shoot the film in. This movie was supposed to be shot in Italy, but when Marlon Brando showed up, they couldn't shoot it in Italy because he had a warrant for his
No
arrest.
way. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a
uh,
fact I didn't know. That's really interesting.
yeah, sorry, Durbin, I interrupted you there. What were
Oh
you
no,
going to
I
say?
was only gonna just remark like one of the things that makes the Superman 2 Richard Donner cut version particularly good is I love this introduction to Jor-El and their communication beginning. And then you go
Yeah,
to Superman, the Richard Donner cut, when he has to get his powers back and their communication ends. It's so symmetrical.
yeah, yeah.
And
That
I don't hate the Lester cut, but that's something you miss in the Lester cut. You miss that symmetry, and it just makes it so much better.
yeah, yeah. Richard Lester, who did the third movie, but also, for all intents and purposes, did the theatrical version of the second movie
Yeah.
using a lot of Donner's shots, which is another reason why I didn't really like these two movies back to back, because I could tell there was some idea differences there.
Yeah.
But when when Donner put that out, and like that whole connection between him and his father, because they couldn't use Brando in the second movie because they didn't tell him that all the stuff he shot, for the movie was for both movies.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, you can't use my footage in the second movie. I didn't agree to
Yep.
that. And so that's why in the theatrical version of the second one, they had his mom come in out of nowhere and
Yeah.
like give him some wonky direction and take away his powers and then give him back. And, like nothing made sense, but when
Yeah. Yeah.
when Jor-El shows up, in the Donner cut of that movie, you're right. It balanced out so well. There's such symmetry,
Yeah.
poeticness to their ending.
Now, what I love about this here, like this is so weird and trippy, but what I like about this moment where he's getting his 12 years tutelage. So going back to that Moses imagery where he's put in the basket, this is the burning bush moment. Like his
Oh,
father speaks to him. His father gives him his mission. It's also, Jesus baptized moment. Like if you're looking at it as that messianic figure. So like, watching it through that lens, it's like this moment where he's seeing Jor-El for the first time and learning about his true heritage. It really is that Moses moment of learning, oh my goodness, I'm not Egyptian, and oh, I have a different destiny and a different calling. So it's a really cool moment when you look at this movie through that lens.
oh, that's a creepy ice face.
I have never understood it.
Um,
and
but
it
no,
is creepy.
And for those of you just joining us, just know that my buddy Chris Durban here from the channel Durbania, if you're not familiar with his channel, which I'm sure most of you are, he runs a YouTube channel, does the same thing that I do here, movie reviews and such, but he also adds a Christian element to it.
Yep.
He does this theological analysis where he dives deep and, finds God in these movies that he enjoys. And as a fan, it's not over preachy. So if you haven't, head over to his channel, subscribe. The link is in the description below.
It's a
But
lot of fun.
if you
I love doing it.
but if you see Durbin dive down these deep explanations comparing it to Moses, this is why. This is what he derives from these movies.
Well,
And
the
that's why I
two
love
authors
this
of
aspect.
Superman, their creators were Jewish, and they had that in their mind, like that picture of Moses as they were creating Superman. And so for me, it's really fun to dive in and find those ties because it just adds those extra layers. And whether you're a Christian or not, like it's always fun to dive into movies and find those like extra layers because to me, it adds so much meaning to those things.
Well, that's when you start understanding integrity, and creative decisions, like you said, putting Moses in the basket and sending him down the river is just what they do to Kal-El. You know,
Yep.
that's something that now when I watch this, I will compare that, biblical aspect to it. It's a really cool. It's great we have your channel out there to point things like that out.
Yeah.
So I
And you're a
appreciate your
fan of the
view.
10 Commandments, as we're talking about earlier. So there you
Yeah, I
go.
love the Ten
Yeah.
Commandments. I still don't know why I love the movie as much as I do. There's no
It's
good
well
reason for it
made. There's
besides its
every reason to
cinematic.
love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
besides its cinematic, execution. That's the only reason that I don't know. Like, I'm not a biblical person. I don't really dive down that road too much. But that movie, I will sit and watch that movie. I bought it. I have it on Vudu. Like,
Yeah. It's good. Now, look, I love Christopher Reeve
oh, here you go.
because, I mean, look at that. He could disintegrate that. And here he is pretending to struggle with it. And I don't
Yes.
think that part's an act. I kind of think in his pretending to struggle with it, like there is genuine clumsiness as he's pretending to struggle. And so he's using his
Maybe.
clumsiness in a world of cardboard. And it's just very interesting to me.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I don't think anyone has accomplished yet, and that is
Oh,
to
yeah.
separate Clark Kent and Superman and Kal-El as
Yeah.
much as he does.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's literally, I can understand in this movie how people wouldn't put those two pieces together.
Henry Cavill and Tyler Hoechlin, who's playing Superman now on Superman and Lois, there is not a separation between the
Right.
Clark and the Superman. And it's kind of comical. Like when the Lana on Superman and Lois knows Clark so well, and then she's talking to Superman and can't tell by the sound of their voice or the general look, they're the same person.
Yeah.
But look, I mean, the way Christopher Reeve is performing right here, you really see that difference. But something I like, and I'm going to dive into Smallville here. When Smallville was building up to this, they decided to go this Christopher Reeve route. So one of Tom Welling's struggles in season 10, his character Clark struggles with turning Clark into this clumsy dork because he grew up Clark Kent. That's like his family name. So taking Clark and making Clark the one that could be ignored and walked over so that he could be Superman and nobody would connect the two. It's interesting because I loved seeing his struggle with that in season 10. He really struggled making Clark this way, but then found the value in it.
I wish I could understand.
I wish you could too, Steve. But there's Smallville fans watching right now who are probably saying, "Amen, Durbin."
Well, I'll put it this way: I believe you.
Thank you, Steve.
I'm gonna have to watch Smallville because I've never watched the show again.
Yeah.
But it's that whole thing of like time and all this stuff. And the only reason why I've been able to watch Loki is because we do a watch party or a discussion about it. You and me and a few other YouTubers every week. And like that to me, like I might start doing that with shows, doing a live or a reaction to it every week, just so I can actually watch the shows.
Well, it's funny because I'm sitting here going, well, this is way funner than me just sitting in front of a camera alone and editing a video.
Right.
Yeah, we got to have these live discussions. It's so much better. So like Laura and I, tomorrow, we're still planning to do a watch party of Loki in the evening, just like her and I, just watching it and reviewing it there. And then, I'm going to have my conversation with all you guys on Thursday, which is going to be so great.
Yeah, which will be on Matthew Haynes'
yes.
YouTube channel. So Shadow Vessel, the 10 Commandments, the original Superman movie. Yes, that's it.
It really is, actually.
What does the M stand for? Stands for Moses.
Now, this scene here, okay, again, this is how iconic this movie is. You notice in the first Wonder Woman how they replicated this, but it was Wonder Woman who was, wearing the costume and the glasses and...
No, I missed that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go back to that first Wonder Woman, and when they're in the alley, and, she tried everything on, and, those guys show up to jump them, and it's her.
Except Steve Trevor wasn't a complete asshole. Like Lois Lane is to Clark Kent here.
That's right. Yes.
This scene right here completely depicts why I don't like this Lois Lane.
But it also depicts why I love this Clark Kent and this Superman. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. For some reason, my mouse isn't working on my my other screen. What can you give a timestamp to everybody real quick,
Yeah,
Durbin?
the timestamp to all of you joining is 54 minutes, 16 seconds.
Thank you.
18, 19. Superman catches the bullet. I find this amazing that he's Superman and he was telling her, just hand over your wallet, Lois.
Well, generally speaking, it's just best to follow the rules. And, if you're getting, mugged, just hand over the wallet.
I love that. I guess I must have fainted. And then we have that nod to the audience of him holding the bullet.
Now, there's a point here that is made. Yeah, you're gonna risk your life for for $10, a hairbrush and a lipstick and a pack of gum or whatever.
Yep, and how he was able to know exactly what was in her. Then he plays it off so coolly.
Right, but the point is, she hasn't thanked him, or she hasn't like made sure he's more than okay, and she seems really bothered by what he did. Like, yeah, why wouldn't I stop this, or why wouldn't I stop this criminal? Yep. Like, I don't know. I whatever. He could have been dead.
With you, Steve, like for sure, because I don't know why. Like, I never thought about that growing up. Maybe it's just, whatever. Like, I was looking at Superman and not her. How cool that he caught the bullet, but he's playing that off so casually. But you're right. Like, she doesn't ask Clark, you fainted. Oh my gosh, are you okay? Did he hit you? Are you bleeding? Okay, I'm glad we made it. Like, none of that.
Well, I think she hits him. I think she's like, oh my God, why did you do that? Like,
yeah, that's not particularly endearing, is it?
Yeah. I don't understand people why they love her so much. Now, Ned Beatty being in this movie, what do you think about his role? As Lex Luthor's.
I honestly think it plays into your problem with Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor. Like, he's too weird and over the top, and all this does is add to that. I don't hate it. I never hated it as a kid. But even as a kid, like, none of this stuff made me laugh too much, and it never really stood out to me. As a kid, it was just always Superman.
Yeah.
Superman surviving Lex's traps. Superman flying out of that swimming pool and stopping the nukes. Like, that's what I saw. And this never, as a kid, stood out good or bad. It just didn't even stand out.
Well, I like the character. I think he's a good balance to a menacing Lex Luthor, but we don't have a menacing Lex Luthor.
There you go. You just said it better than I just did. I took a lot of words. You did a really short.
Well, I mean, I've had a lot of time to think about it.
And you've done a lot of reviews.
Ned Beatty also recently passed away. I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that one either.
This is to Ned Beatty as well.
Ned Beatty. He did do a good job, though. Like, as a grown-up, where now I pay more attention to story and stuff, like, you're right. If we had a more menacing Lex Luthor, then this type of character is like in Superman Returns, like some of the guys in his troop, especially Lex Luthor's girl, Parker Posey, was that her name? Yeah. Like, they were kind of that goofy offset to his more menacing nature. So you can see that's exactly what this was supposed to be.
I was about to mention that I think her name is Kitty in this one. Is that or is that the third one?
I think it's Miss Kit Kat. No, that's freaking Batman.
Lex's girlfriend in this movie and Ned Beatty's character. Those two, like, to me, seem like the perfect characters that would go well with a menacing Lex Luthor, but then almost and they do it in this movie, but it doesn't play out as well as I think it could have, where they almost team up together to go against Lex. They do it very lightly in this film, but like they're
both on Lex's side at the beginning of Superman 2.
Yeah, well, they're of course they're in a toxic relationship with Lex Luthor, pretty much, and that could have played out a lot better if Gene Hackman would have went all in, man.
Yeah. And it's weird because it's not that Gene Hackman's performance is bad, right? Because you're right. He went all in. But like you pointed out, it's not very menacing. And I think that was the element missing here.
Well, I think Gene Hackman didn't quite understand what Lex Luthor was. Or, I mean, I mean, I don't know if we can blame it all on him or not, but
Yeah, I don't think we could. Yeah.
but it just seems that this Lex Luthor is just he's your average criminal with a lot of money. So like he makes these small criminal mistakes, but like there's a lot more that goes into it. Like he does have some good plans, but I don't know. He's just missing the menacing part. I'm rambling on now about Lex
But
Luthor.
no, I agree with you though. Like all your ramblings make sense because that's kind of just my problem with this Lex Luthor, and that's where I'm back and forth on him. I like Gene Hackman, and I don't think he did a bad job, but it's totally menacing or menace. It's totally menacing. It's totally missing that menacing element, and I think that's exactly what Kevin Spacey brought. Like he still had a lot of the same
Yes.
goofiness, but there was
Yes.
something more menacing about what he brought to that role.
Yes, that's it. And I believe I said that in my review for Superman Returns is Kevin Spacey took what Gene Hackman wanted to do and did it better.
Yes. And I'm only repeating the genius who already said it in a previous review.
He's about to say it right now. Here he goes, going on his rant, telling making sure you know how cool he is.
Yep.
Now, I do like this concept of him hiding in the train station deep underground.
Yes.
Did they explain why he's hiding? Like,
no. He's just a criminal and he's one of the most wanted, and so he's living under there, but they haven't really gotten into it.
But is he the most wanted? Really?
I don't know. Like, I mean, he is the world's greatest criminal mastermind, so I guess he just that's all the explanation we need.
It doesn't seem that hard to dodge the authorities in these films. Like when he escapes from prison in the fourth movie, he escapes.
Yeah.
He escapes prison and he hides secretly in his penthouse and has board meetings and like it just I don't know.
Actually, you know what's funny is Lex Luthor's nephew in Superman 4 is Lex Luthor in the current Supergirl show. And he's one of the worst Lex Luthors I've ever seen put to live action.
Oh, what is that actor's name from 2.5 Men?
I can't remember. I was struggling to remember it. I cannot remember.
Aaron White, help us out.
Yes, Aaron, you got all these answers.
But yeah, because he was in that Superman 4 movie. Oh no, Superman! Hello. Oh no.
Yeah. That's oddly one of the worst parts, and one of my favorite parts is where he's like, "Oh no."
It's so bad, it's good.
Yeah,
it's so bad, it's good.
Exactly. But how odd was it in Superman 4 that we had that one dude who was playing Nuclear Man, but they dubbed over his voice with Gene Hackman's voice? Like, why did they do that?
Well, they explain it in the movie. They explain
didn't use Gene's genetics, did they?
Yeah, they.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, well, that's what they explained. Like he put his own DNA into it. That's why he has his voice. Because he even says it. You have my voice. They say it in that movie.
Yeah, I just quit paying attention by that point.
What's the best part? Like when he's somehow this guy with no like biological engineering degree at all is seemingly creating another superhuman. Like he's making a cake, and he's putting that.
Put the ingredients in the nukes, throw it to the sun.
John Cryer, that's it. But what makes it crazy for me, like when he's putting all the things in the capsule, to make Nuclear Man, he puts this little like Barbie doll or Ken doll sized outfit of the Nuclear Man outfit into the thing, and then shoots it into the sun. And then the sun births out this Nuclear Man.
Nuclear Man.
No, we get to watch him go through all stages as he's traveling to Earth in 8 seconds. And he turns into a fetus and then automatically has the clothes on. Then the movie just shit to bed after that.
Yes, it did.
It shit to bed before that, but that's when it's like I think the audience at that time's like,
what happened to my Superman?
How's this? Yeah. Well, Chandler, a truly fantastic movie.
What's up, Chandler? Oh, hot take for nerds. We are at 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 6 seconds. You've come in at just the right time. He's about to be Superman for the first time.
How many people from the original Superman series have died so far?
A lot.
Yeah.
I don't have that number offhand, nor do I want to
Yeah.
think about that.
Well,
That's really depressing.
Ned Beatty, Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve, Margot
Margot
Kidder.
Kidder, yeah.
I'm sure. I think the only person still alive is the boy who played Jimmy.
Gene Hackman's alive though.
Is he?
Wow,
I think so. And he was like the oldest one in this movie. I think if Gene Hackman died, it was only a few years ago. I can't remember.
You're gonna have to talk to a hot take for nerds here about your opinions on Superman 3.
Give 3 and 4 90s Batman sequel this. I was entertained in some way. Superman 3 and 4 were boring. I love Superman 3. Out of all the Christopher Reeve ones, Chandler, Superman 3 is my favorite. If you want to know why, go watch my review series. Because we've already talked about it on here. Like, yeah, there's just a balance I really enjoy about that movie. But
you know what's great about this scene? So many things. But I said this on my Wall of Weird podcast when we were talking about Superman and Lois, because in Superman and Lois, it turns out it wasn't a UFO or a big alien event where Superman had to step out into the world. Yeah. It was a simple thing, and he just did what he could to save somebody, and that's how he becomes known to the world. And I think that's what I like about this one. And don't get me wrong, I love Man of Steel, and I love the whole "you are not alone" thing. What an epic way to push Superman into the light. But I also love this version.
And a global way to put him in the light.
Yeah, but this is not any big thing. Like, it's just the helicopter.
This is your friendly neighborhood Superman.
Exactly. And I really do. And like, he even rescues a cat by the end of this montage, a cat from the tree. And as much as it is hokey, I love it because it's the true heart and spirit of Superman and who and what he's supposed to be.
And Superman, for some odd reason, can and has gotten dangerously close to becoming that Spider-Man character when it comes to being your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Superman. Prime example, The Adventures of Lois and Clark.
Oh, what a great show.
That's it. Yeah, I love that show. Season
so
3,
hokey,
season 3 went way down.
Oh, but, it did.
But 1 and 2 were great. But that's what he was in that show. He was not the global hero. He was your friendly neighborhood Superman. He was Spider-Man, but Superman.
Yes.
So it's weird that the audience and even the people that make these TV shows and stuff seem to want to put Superman in that small world. Like when he's not that. He is this.
Well, it's just
global.
Nowadays he's so overpowered. I mean, I think when Superman first came out in the comics, he couldn't even fly. Like, that never happened until the radio show. Because in the comics, all he could do was leap a tall building in a single bound. And on the radio show, when he'd do that, you'd hear all this wind. So people just assumed he was flying because up and away, and you hear all that wind. And that's the birth of Superman flying. So like, as time goes on, it's like he inherits more powers, which I have no trouble with. Because to me, the point is here's a being this powerful and his heart is to serve. And,
sorry, go ahead.
No, I had nothing else.
Well, I was going to say, but these evolutions to Superman that we seem to find, him starting to fly, the S becoming the symbol of hope, on his home planet for, the House of El. These things are easy to adopt in because he is a universal character. And I mean universal, like, the universe, like he's from a different planet. We don't know how far away.
I love it. Sorry,
there's a chest reveal. You're right. This is it.
Yep. This is it. I love that line right here.
That suit is still killer. Like, when you're talking classic Superman suit.
Oh yeah.
That is it. That's the
What
ticket.
I love about that suit. Okay. So you saw like that suit is the blankets he was in as a child, right? But at the same time, it has that homemade mom look to it. And so, like, I love the Man of Steel outfit. Again, don't get me wrong on these things. I just love the different versions and the different takes. And what I love about this take is it's that suit is humility because it's like made by his mom, and I love that.
You know, one thing that I love about these multiverse worlds coming into cinematic universes, like now we can live in a world where this Superman and Man of Steel actually exist in a multiverse together.
Yes. And you know the one thing that I loved when the CW did their multiverse thing, because overall it was a disappointment, but what I loved about what they did with it is Brandon Routh, they made him the quintessential, this is Christopher Reeve, and this is his world continued onward. And they did a Kingdom Come version of this Superman that we're watching right now, long after the 70s. And like, it's interesting. And so I would love it if he got a show.
Okay, so Brandon Routh. Okay, because I never watched that. I never watched the CW shows or anything.
Don't do it. Yeah,
but I do remember that multiverse crossover thing. And so they are sticking to that. His Superman is Christopher Reeve continuation.
Yes, it was
Bryan Singer never was
Returns continuation. So it is Christopher Reeve's Superman. Yeah,
right. But Bryan Singer never really confirmed or denied that. He said, "Yeah, it is, but it's not." You know, hence why it was it is. Right. Hence why it was, we skipped 30 years.
But the reason that I know in the CW, when they did that whole multiverse, Crisis on Infinite Earths, it took me a while to get that name back. The reason I know it's this Superman, Steve, and you will love this, because they referenced Superman 3. When Brandon Routh was fighting the Tyler Hoechlin version of himself because he went crazy and Tyler Hoechlin saved him for what made him go crazy. This Brandon Routh Superman goes, it's okay. This is not the first time I've split in two and fought another version of myself. And it's a complete reference to Superman 3. And so the Brandon Routh Superman in Crisis on Infinite Earths is the Kingdom Come version of this Christopher Reeve Superman.
I dig it. It. That would be a good series to see.
I would
see. Mercenary says, do you think this Superman could turn back time via the fortress like in Smallville? That's a question for you, Durban.
Does he need to? He turned the world backwards by flying backwards.
Because that's how time works.
I think Smallville and this Superman are on the same level. And I think if they had this to do today, it would be closer to what they did in Smallville. So I would say, yeah, it would be Crystal and the Fortress. Yeah.
So just for context, what happened in Smallville that they turned back time?
Well, that's a major spoiler. So you ready for a major spoiler?
Durban, I don't know if I'm ever going to watch this show.
Well, this is also for the audience, so that now they're prepared. So the major spoiler is Lana Lang died in that episode, and he couldn't handle it. So Jor-El said, here's a trial that you haven't faced, and this is only one time to face it. But when you face it and you change one thing in the universe, it's going to demand something else. So Clark goes back in time and saves Lana, and that's when Jonathan dies of a heart attack. So it was.
Oh, it's like a Flashpoint sort of thing.
Yes,
a little bit.
And
just
so
a little.
The way they did it in Smallville was heart wrenching. So to put that in context, if they took this movie and made it today with this same tone, I bet you it would have been something in the Crystal where he had to face a trial and he did something to save Lois.
Aaron says that's the 100th episode.
Yes, it is.
Reckoning.
It was a really good episode, which is why I hated to spoil it, but whatever. Spoilers, and it's 20 years old, so whatever.
Well, yeah, come on. I think there's a time cap here of spoilers.
I think so, too. Yes.
I think once you start getting to double digits.
I think so. Like this movie, like he turns the world backwards and saves Lois Lane. Come on. It came out in 1978.
Well, it's an even point in watching the rest of this, Durban. Thanks for ruining that.
Oh, no. I ruined the movie we've all seen.
You know what? What I wouldn't mind doing is like getting your breakdown of like the best episodes of all the seasons and like me just watching those.
Oh, I could do that for you, Steve. In fact, I would geek out as a nerd and I would do that for you. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Cool.
That way you can skip the junk and enjoy the good.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And then I could just sum up for you the stuff I'm having you miss. This whole montage to me is so great. And it's all like I said, like you said, that's the friendly neighborhood Superman. And I love that. It's just so cool to see him flying around and just helping out the police and stopping little crimes here and there. I love it.
October 16th, this year, Smallville turns 20.
Yeah, that's insane to me.
I wonder if there's something that we could do for that.
Yeah, dude, I'd be down for it.
I don't even know if it's appropriate to have me on there for that.
Well, you would have some catching up to do, and I could do the sum up thing if you want, and give you the best episode. But yeah,
all right, yeah, I think we could pencil something in.
Awesome. Yeah, because I already did full season reviews of all 10 seasons, including the season 11 comic, which is now going to be turned into an animated series, and I am really excited about that.
Oh yeah, they're doing that. There's a fan-made Snyder cut, Snyderverse comic coming out, which we all kind of knew about. Oh, this part right here. This little girl gets beat by whoever she goes inside with.
Oh my gosh!
Listen to it.
I'm listening.
She smacked her. She smacked the little girl.
Her cat would be dead. Oh, not dead. Would be stuck in a tree if not for Superman, and she gets smacked for it. Do you think the mom apologized the next day when she saw the news?
I bet the cat just attacked her. That's it.
There you go.
Gene says he certainly has made Smallville sound inviting. Yes, Gene, I agree. Like, I've never had any interest in watching Smallville until until we started doing these streams with Durban, and like he keeps talking about it, and like I'm like, oh, I've never seen it, but everything he talks about, and then in the comments section, everyone's like, dude, best episode. Like it's definitely got a culture behind it.
Oh, it does.
Now I feel left out. I feel like I'm outside I'm outside looking in, going, well, I want to be in the cool kid club, and it sounds intriguing. It sounds like they made some really smart decisions.
Well, the guy who played Jonathan Kent, when he accepted doing the show, he said he didn't realize what he's getting into, and he's so proud that he got to be a part of this surprising gem in the crown of Superman history. Because, I don't think anybody really knew what they had with Smallville. But even though it has its ups and it really does have its downs, overall, the show was lightning in a bottle. It was this amazing exploration of how Clark could have become Superman in the early 2000s. Growing up in that world, when it came out in 2001, he was supposed to be a freshman in high school. And it really took a modern look at Superman growing into that role. But the way they do Lex Luthor even, and Clark and Lex are best friends, and how you watch that friendship grow, you know what it's going to become. You know it. And it crushes you because you just love their friendship. And then when you see the dark seeds begin to plant and you see the division and the wedge begin to happen, you mourn for it. You just cry out, make different choices. Come on. They do a great job with all of that.
Aaron White says Smallville pilot watch party.
Dude, Steve, if it gets you starting to watch Smallville, I am down.
All right.
Maybe we can actually get Aaron to get on his computer and join us.
That was the original idea of this live watch party. Because I wanted to get him on here to actually be a part of the discussion, but he says it would be too noisy with all the kids running around. So
now, to anybody that's watching this and going, "How are you watching Superman the movie?" and you're having such a huge Smallville discussion, I can answer that by saying Smallville, though, was a different universe than this Superman. It paid such homage to this version throughout almost every season that it's just natural that you would talk about Smallville in this movie. That show has such a love for this movie. At times I thought, is it a prequel to the movie? Is that what it's supposed to be? It's not, but it really did have a love and respect for this movie. And you see that through that entire show.
Gene says he's enjoying the new adventures of Clark and Lois so much. his interest in Smallville has peaked. Yeah, I need to get back into the New Adventures of Clark and Lois. I watched 2 episodes, and it didn't connect with me. And like I even made a Facebook post where I dissed it, and I dissed it, and like it was a rude comment. I shouldn't have said what I said, but I was just being overly dramatic about it. But now seeing how it's starting to play out, it does. I didn't understand the concept of it. I didn't understand that it was a future Superman. It was its own thing, and it was taking place like he has kids, like almost like kids like graduating high school, like in the world that leads. So I'm gonna have to go back and give that a watch. I think I just hate TV shows.
I know, I get you, dude. I get it. Because after a while, it's like, I like movies. One and done. Oh, a sequel. Another one and done.
Right.
Whereas a TV show, it's like you're always speculating what's coming next or this or that. But
yeah,
Superman and Lois is pretty special. Like, they're doing it's not succumbing to that typical CW drama yet. Like, they're just telling a genuinely good Superman story. But they've set it at such a different time in his life. Like, you love Smallville, and it has a sense of destiny because you know what it's building towards. Like, I couldn't stand the Lana drama. I did not like Lana Lang. And part of it is like, he's going to end up with Lois. Why are you making me spend so much time with this when I know he's going to be with Lois?
Right.
You get into Superman and Lois, you have no such thing. Where is this going to go? Because this is such a different point in Superman's life. You're like, what are you going to build to? Like, it kind of takes you in that direction and gives you a whole new sense of anticipation.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. It definitely lays out all new ground. It paves a road that hasn't been walked on yet, and that is creative. I know this one's for you, Durbin. I know you love this one too.
Yes.
Jay says, "I love Earth 1 Superman."
Yes, right here on my set in the back there, I have volume 1 and 2 up there. Actually, I have all 3 volumes up there. I'm anxiously awaiting volume 4 if or when that comes out. It's a really good take on Superman. And in fact, Man of Steel was based off of Superman Birthright and Earth 1. It kind of took the best of both those graphic novels and put them in that movie.
Yeah, the only graphic novel I have of Superman, well, I have this one back here against the wall, which is actually just a collection of a whole bunch of comics, which has your and I picture on top of it.
Nice.
That's you and me. That's you and me in high school. But I actually have in one of the drawer over here the original issue of Death of Superman.
Oh yeah, I think I remember you getting that because I was in high school with you when that came out, right?
No, that came out way before we were in high school. That came out like the early 90s. I still lived in Texas when it came out. My brother purchased it when it first came out, and it's just sat in my mom's basement up until like 6 months ago. She's like, "Hey, do you want this?" I'm like, yeah. I'll take that. Thank you.
I love this interview with Lois Lane. Though it's funny. I love like when he can x-ray and see her lungs and say, yeah, the smoking's not hurting you yet. And here he is being your charming Superman, don't smoke. But when she asks for what color underwear am I wearing, and he looks, I'm like, Superman.
Well, dude, this is not the action of a professional journalist. Like this entire journalist, this interview that she's doing is 100% sexually driven because all she wants is the super D. All right, she doesn't care about anything else. All she wants is the recognition that she got with Superman. This Lois Lane sucks.
Now, the other thing I don't like about this interview is how easily Superman is going, oh, yeah, I can't see through lead. And, here's my social security number. Like, I don't know. Like, he's easily divulging his weaknesses here. I mean, he doesn't know about kryptonite yet, but I just feel like if he did, he would have.
You're right. He's answering the questions in a very professional manner. You're correct.
Yeah. But I don't like him answering those questions. He doesn't have to do that. Like, tell his enemies his weaknesses.
Right. See, Jay says, also, I love both your channels. Durbin, I suggest you read Mr. Miracle by Tom King. Amazing series, lots of Christian themes and comic lore.
Yes. Could you send me that on Facebook or something? I don't want to miss that. That's really cool. I'll check it out.
Yes, mercenary. I said Super D. And I only said that like that because Durban's here and I'm being respectful. If it was somebody else, I wouldn't went full Monty with my exploits there.
Oh, this is the underwear scene I was talking about, where he tells her I can't see through lead. Oh, pink, by the way. Your underwear's pink. It's like, come on, man.
Oh, there. Yep, he looked. But I guess at the same time, I mean, this is how Superman would flirt. You know,
Maybe.
I mean, that's what this is. He's that right there was his flirting move. Like, hey, she asked. All right, you're wearing pink.
Now, can I just tell you something I've never understood here, from childhood even to this day?
Yeah.
Is she wearing a fancy dress or is she wearing pajamas?
I told you she's ready to go to bed right now. She knows what she's doing. You know what would have been a quirky little response to her asking him, and like actually would have played off funnier and better than him actually looking at the underwear. If she goes, "Can you guess what color my underwear are?" And he looks at her and he goes, "Only if you can guess what mine are," but his are on the outside of his clothes.
That would have actually been a hilarious line, Steve. Where were you when they needed that line?
It would have derailed the sexual content and the awkwardness of him actually checking out her goods, you know. Oh man.
I love the sincerity with which Superman says, "I never lie." But he does go in disguise as Clark Kent and never tells anybody he's Superman.
Yeah. He totally lies. I forget, there's in my review for this one, I think I actually point out like a few things he's lied about. Oh, it was about him being Clark Kent, like that whole scene where he, where he said, where he catches the bullet and he's like, "Oh, he must have missed me." Lie.
Yeah, I fainted.
I fainted. Lie. Yeah. And now you saying I never lie. Well,
you do lie about some things.
Yeah,
I get it. It's to protect his mom. It's the secret identity thing, but
I wouldn't mind editing in like a little fan video of like the dark side of this Superman, and like it just have that saying, "Oh, I never lie, I never lie, I never lie," and then like have clips of him lying throughout the whole thing, sinister shots of him like looking at her underwear. Yeah.
Oh, Steve, that would get thousands of hits. You should do it. You should totally do it.
It probably would get thousands of hits because anytime I do a video that doesn't represent my channel at all, it seems to get thousands of hits.
Like that Samuel L. Jackson video you did for your Alexa thing. That was hilarious and got.
It's in 100,000 views right now, and
that's insane.
And like it totally misrepresent what I do on this channel. Oh boy. Not First Flight. Now I was reading something today because I was doing a little bit of research about this movie before we started. The original score has the same song that's playing right now, except Lois was actually supposed to start singing like with her mouth.
I'm glad that changed.
In this shot, and Richard Donner's like, no. He's like, no.
Thank you, Richard Donner. Thank you so much. Okay, because as much as you don't like Lois Lane in this movie, Steve, I'm not taking that away from you. But you got to admit, this scene is a classic Superman, Lois Lane building their love story scene. It's classic.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they, no, you're absolutely, yeah. They captured the magic of Lois and Superman. They really did. They have moments where they capture it perfectly. There are moments where I believe that like they genuinely, have a love interest for each other. I just think literally Margot Kidder's performance just downplays a lot of that for me, where it overshadows that for me.
Yeah.
So that's it. Yeah. But yeah, so that's basically it. But yeah, there are like this shot right here where they're coming through the clouds, and that like this is beautiful. This is like straight from the
beautiful.
comics.
You got to have that suspension of disbelief because you got to know she's passing out at this moment from lack of oxygen, also while freezing. But
well, we can believe this, way more than we can believe that other chick in Superman 4 who was
Oh,
in
man.
actual space.
In
outer
actual
space.
And she looks down and screams, and it's like, you've got to be kidding.
Not only does she look down and scream, but she falls.
Yes.
Like,
in actual space.
She's in space falling.
And the Earth looks really little.
Yeah,
she
like
has escaped its orbit. She's not falling.
Yeah, and wind's blowing in their hair. Like, what are you? Do they even know how to? Do the directors even know how to make a movie? Yeah, Superman 4, what a shit show. I'll tell you what, like, Batman and Robin is a good, bad movie. It's one of those movies that I can watch and laugh at. Superman 4, I can't do that. I just watch and I'm just like,
you just cringe in Superman.
What are they doing?
4. Like, Batman and Robin has cringy stuff, but it's like Sharknado. You just kind of crack up at the hilarity of it. But Superman 4 is like, oh man, are you kidding me?
So did he just purposefully let her go and let her fall just now?
You would think because he's Superman, he could have held his grip there. But,
I'm gonna add that into the darker side of Superman.
Yep, that's actually pretty hilarious. I want to say it's an accident, and he rushes down to catch her here in that moment. Like maybe he wasn't realizing it, trying not to crush her hand, and she slipped.
Her doing the dialogue here is actually what Donner settled on instead of her singing.
And you know what? I've never truly liked this little poem she does here. But now knowing that she was going to sing it, yeah, I will settle on this versus singing any day.
Yeah.
Because honestly, this plays so much better with 0 lines. And just their expressions on their face. And like you said earlier, this is her best performance right here. Like if you could have done this without her dialogue and just seen them laugh and smile at each other, it's brilliant.
Yeah, it is odd. It adds a weird element that doesn't it's like if there was like certain parts where she was like narrating throughout the movie, then this would make sense. But it's just a one and done. That's the only time she does that.
Yeah. Oh, man, that bird is flying so high.
Runs into the moon.
Yeah.
Gene Harshaw, did you just see that he just did that to cop a feel?
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, man.
I mean,
go
ahead,
we're watching this to appreciate Richard Donner, let's appreciate the fact she sang a poem and not singing a song here. And that was Richard Donner's doing. Yes.
Yeah, Richard Donner definitely had he was a very wise man who didn't fall into the hokey trap that they tried to put him into.
Yes. And I still think this movie is hokey, no matter how you look at it. But not what it could have been, not what they were originally going for. Yeah.
And I don't even consider this movie that hokey. Like I really don't. I just consider it a product of its time. Like it's. Did he just check out this underwear again? See here.
You know what, Steve? I never would have thought about it, but now that you just said that, you ruined that. Every time he turns around and nods at her, I'm like, oh,
he's checking her out. He's like, yeah, Superman 5. He's like, hey, we're into polka dots today. Nice. Jay, Soups dropped her as payback because he remembers the insult she said to Clark Kent earlier.
Oh, gosh.
Yes, that's it. That's it. Well, I mean, that could be true because Clark Kent in this universe is a very spiteful man. If you think about Superman 2, when he gets beat up in that
he returns to the bar at the end.
He returns, full powered, dressed as a civilian, and completely wipes that guy across the bar, slams into the pinball machine. You got to throw
that in your dark side of Superman.
Dude, it's gonna happen. It probably already exists on YouTube. Right here.
Look, he's straightening up. He's become Superman, and even though they haven't super, no pun intended, built to this, I love Christopher Reeve's acting. That conflict of, I really like you, Lois. I want to tell you who I am. And then when she comes back out, watch the retransformation. Glasses on, shoulders drop, nasally again. Like, just, I love it.
It's kind of interesting that you bring that up because it seems like he's more comfortable hiding behind Clark Kent than he is Superman when he's not in the outfit. That's really
I didn't actually even think of it that way, but that's incredibly true. Like, there is a comfort level in hiding behind those glasses. I mean, he's human too, even if he is an alien. See, even Smallville pays tribute here after the series finale. Lois has that paper that says, "I spent the night with Superman."
Wow, could that not be any more of a suggestive title? I swear.
I know.
She knew what she wanted. Gene says, but he pays for the damages. Oh, and Superman too. Well, for the bar's damages. He pays for the bar's damages. What about that guy's hospital bills? He doesn't pay for that. He broke his hand. The guy was like a truck driver.
Here's another reason to watch Smallville, Steve. There's a scene where Lana's getting attacked by some guys as she runs a coffee shop, right? And Clark comes in there and they go out the back. So Clark goes out the back, gets a little vindictive like Superman too, and he tosses those guys like he normally would as Superman. And then he goes to speed off as the police are coming, but Lana is standing there watching him and he can't. He has to stand around, fill out a police report, and get sued for injuries by the people that he just beat up to save Lana.
See, very, very good. That would have made sense. Like if we saw some ramifications, from his actions, like something like, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that again. Little Superman evolution here. I learned a lesson today. Don't throw civilians into video games. Got it.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh yeah, there's a little a little deep cut. He paid for the damages on a reporter's salary.
Oh yeah, that is a deep cut. Where did he get that? It's a reporter's salary. Yes.
Well, to be fair, that bar didn't. Maybe like $100 probably could have fixed everything he broke in there.
Probably he did not do a lot of damage. You notice how Gene Hackman is like wearing a different wig every time we see him, and I've always wondered the choices. Like in this scene, he's wearing the wig with the white hair stripes in there. Like, is he trying to look smarter here as he's out of thin air going, well, if Superman came from another planet called Krypton, based on the dates, then fragments would have hit. Oh, kryptonite will kill him. It's like,
maybe. I don't know if that very possibly could be. I don't know if they thought that hard about it. Do you know why they do the different wigs, Durbin?
Because Gene Hackman didn't want to go bald.
Exactly. Exactly. And that strangely got also absorbed into some sort of Lex Luthor lore. That decision.
And it works.
Yeah. Or maybe not.
I don't dislike
maybe it was just because I know Kevin Spacey's wore the wigs, but he was also playing this version too. So is that something that Lex Luthor does, wear wigs, or is that just in these
That's
movies?
Mostly this one because of Gene Hackman's thing.
Right.
And, you see it return in Superman Returns. You don't have that in Smallville. And it's in the Dean Cain version, but he doesn't go with wigs. He loses his hair by season 3. That's about it.
Yeah, that's right.
I think this is it. Like this and Superman Returns are the only ones where that I remember. You see him playing with the wigs.
So, Jay, favorite scene from Smallville is when Clark realizes Lana temporarily has his powers. Oh, that's a thing?
Yes. I
don't sound like disappointed.
Lana. I don't like Lana. And when she had his powers, she was so self-entitled. This is how self-entitled she is. She said, well, Clark, you've had these powers all your life, so I think I can handle it. And it's like, woman, you've had his powers for 2 seconds, and he spent his whole life trying to hone them. Don't talk like that.
That sentence doesn't even make sense.
No, it doesn't. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, these are my issues with that character, but yeah.
Oh, what did I miss? What happened?
Oh, it's that remote control card.
Oh, okay. The remote control card.
With Gene Hackman. And this is the worst wig he wears. I hate this wig that he wears in the scene.
Okay, because they're trying to put change the code on the nuclear missile or something like this.
Yep.
And here comes the damsel in distress and how the guys act like complete monkeys.
And they're like, should we do CPR?
No, I'll do it. No, I'll do it. Okay, guys, no, I got this. Like, all right. Definitely part of the times of the 70s there.
Yep. I will. Okay, so the scene before, I'm going to go back to it one more time. Scene before where Lex Luthor discovers that kryptonite will hurt Superman. I don't like how he puts all of that together. It's so unnatural to me.
Say that one more time, Durbin. Sorry,
how he puts together that kryptonite will kill Superman. Like he puts 2 and 2 together, meteor fragments from the planet Krypton, and if it's from his planet, therefore it must kill him. It's like I think you would need to experiment with it first.
They did skim right through that, didn't they?
They did, and I remember as a kid going, that seems pretty weak to me.
Yeah, how do they? Yeah, because they explained that pretty well in Man of Steel or Batman v Superman, rather.
Yeah, it's like they've been finding it. They found it in the crashed ships and.
Well, yeah, but they were testing it on Zod, and that's how they found out. It decayed Kryptonian cells. Like it's a discovery. It's a scientific discovery that they found, and this one he's just like, oh, it's a rock from his planet.
Therefore,
it must kill him because that's because whenever we touch rocks from our planet, we die.
Yeah. So like I've always had issue with that scene. I mean, I love this movie, but I still have issues with a few things here and there.
Oh yeah, of course. I think the overall like ambiance of this movie is great, but when you dive into it, like I think for my grading, I only gave it a C because of the other things. But there's big portions like the Superman scenes, and that's what I was saying in my one of my reviews of how Christopher Reeve is way up here, everyone else is way down here. Because that's what makes this movie. Anytime he's in this movie, that's where it shines. That's where that's your moneymaker right there.
Yep. And I agree with that. Yeah. It's 100%.
Like this like Three Stooges bit that they're doing right now. Like, like, okay.
Like Lex is a criminal mastermind. I mean, he built a whole underground subway hideout, and here he jumps away from the wheel as they're driving to fight Otis.
Man, what a genius.
It's funny. Again, I'm going to go to Smallville. In the Smallville season 11 comic, where they have that Clark as Superman finally, they bring the character Otis back, but they do a great job with the play between that version of Lex Luthor and Otis. It's really cool.
Okay.
Less goofy.
I'll have to check it. Yeah. Add that to your list of episodes I need to watch.
Yes. Well, at this point, just wait till they make it the animated series.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yes. Poor Otis. Like he's got a black eye and he's missing a tooth because of that fight that he just had with Lex Luthor in the hospital. Or not the hospital. Gosh, in the ambulance.
I love how discreet she's being in her bright red dress.
Like they all had time to change their outfits, and she. Well,
of course they rented a house on wheels.
Yes,
they're driving it with a semi. 2 different purchases.
Well, I'm assuming Lex Luthor already had that purchase because, from what I know of Lex Luthor, he's got Plan A, B, C, and D. He's ready to go.
Except not a single wardrobe. Well, no, he had a wardrobe change, but she didn't.
Yes,
he changed into that cowboy get up. So Jimmy Olsen here, very fun fact, which I'm sure most of you do know, he had a very big role in Zack Snyder's the Snyder cut of Justice League.
Oh yes,
he played the cop that Lois delivers the coffee to.
I will say, for all that stunk about Justice League, at least it was nice they brought that Jimmy back in for Justice League.
Oh, for the
cameo.
For he got to keep the clerk cameo,
yeah,
fair enough.
That'll be the last nice thing I say about that movie. So I've always loved this scene where Gene Hackman gets into that weird frequency and only Superman could hear it. I've always loved it.
That is a very good concept.
The thing I never liked was he jumps out the window and his clothes fade into the Superman outfit.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think, weird. Are they trying to say he's moved so fast that it disintegrated those clothes, or they just said, screw it, he's jumping out the window anyway. We just want to see him transform.
It would have been really cool for like if he's going down and like, you know, there's like a billboard that he goes behind and he just doesn't change his speed, but he goes down in his suit, then comes out the bottom in that other suit, you know, like. But yeah, the fading that raises a lot more questions that just never get answered.
Yes, so, but I do love it. Everything building up, including that moment where he's looking around, nobody's looking, and he just kind of falls out the window, and it's just like this clumsy little nerd has so much more underneath than you even realize. He just jumped out a window because he's gonna fly and save the world right now.
Mercenary asks, Durban, are you going to be watching Superman and Lois today?
Yes, I forgot. Gosh, I've had such a busy week. My whole family came out last week for 4th of July, so I forgot. But yes, I will be watching Superman and Lois, and I'm excited to continue to get back into that one. I don't know when I'm going to be releasing my review. I might do something live, but we'll see. I'll figure it out when I get there, but I will be watching it.
Durbin, do you have any plans to do a Q&A for your 11,000 subscriber celebration?
I was thinking about that because that just happened out of the blue today. So I am going live at the end of the week to do another review of the season finale of The Chosen. So I will be doing something live there. I might do something live separately in the weekend. I'll have to think about that because I got a lot of stuff I got to catch up on. Black Widow, Loki, Marvel ranking. But I definitely got to go live and say thank you.
Have you watched Black Widow yet?
Yes, I have. I saw the movie. I just haven't done my review yet.
I haven't watched. I haven't watched Black Widow yet.
It's okay. I enjoyed it. It's insane to me that she doesn't have powers and she survives the things that she survives in that movie. And it came out way too late. It needed to come out, earlier.
Well, I think at this point, like, leading up to this phase 4 or whatever, like before they actually punch it out, I think they're using all these like that movie specifically as like filler.
Yeah,
just filler. But once you pick it up and put it in its actual continuity, then it will make sense. I
think so. Like, I think when I go back and watch these movies in chronological order and I put it after Civil War, I think it's going to fit a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Nothing to worry about, people. I'm destroying public property, and your taxes are going to pay to fix this.
Superman, there's a sewer manhole right over here.
Yeah, but you got to show this off. I mean, come on. When I was a kid and he did this, I thought it was the coolest thing on earth.
Yeah, I'm just obviously just nitpicking for fun.
Yeah, because as grown-ups, we're like, dude, go down the sewer lid. You're destroying public property.
Mr. Luthor.
So I miss this version that we're watching.
Rudy's in the house.
What's up, Rudy?
Reviews. Glad to see you watching the film that started it all. Yep.
Rudy, yes. We're at 1 hour, 47 minutes, 33 seconds.
Yep. Mr. Aaron White, let me know that Richard Donner passed away. And I was right then. I was just like, okay, live watch party. Durbin, you in? He's in. So here we are. In. I appreciate you tuning in, Rudy. Thank you so much.
You know, it's really sad, this version that we're watching where it deletes the whole sequence of him going through the hallway and Lex Luthor has all these guns and shoots him and then has whatever technology that freezes him, kind of showing him survive all this stuff that Luthor's throwing at him.
That's a deleted scene?
It must be because they just cut it.
Oh, so you've seen it?
I've seen it in the movie.
Oh, that must you.
We're not watching like the extended edition here. We're watching the theatrical cut here.
I wonder if that extended edition is that TV edition I was talking about earlier.
It must be because, like, I even remember that stuff from my childhood. So that version must have been out for quite some time.
Yeah, because they put it out on TV, and as I said, that was the only time Richard Donner didn't have creative rights to the editing. So like they put it out and extended it over. It made it a 2-night event, so they could put more commercials in there and all this stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder if that's it or not. Oh, this is where he talks about his big master plan of
His big master plan. Let's put a nuke in the San Andreas Fault, make everything collapse, and I have beachfront property. Except the problem is he's a criminal. So even though he could own all of that land, I mean, the moment, he's ever found, he loses all of those assets. So it's like, come on.
Right. Man. Yeah, we're missing the key point here again. He seems to forget that the military is a thing and yes. they can stop him. Yeah, there was the same issue that they had in Superman Returns,
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's also what makes Superman Returns fits into this series, right? It's the same issues being repeated.
He's very consistent in his oversight, consistent. In his genius oversights. Yeah, I don't think I ever remember like that's one of the bad things about like this Lex Luthor, or at least his plans. These plans that don't really work out, but they do have major catastrophes that Superman obviously needs to step in on. But it's the plan itself really doesn't hold any validity to why Superman would step in. Like Superman's reading this and going, "You're not going to do this. This is dumb."
Yeah. This is dumb.
But Superman has to step in because the plan doesn't quite work out the way I think Gene's planning it to.
Yeah. I think what's funny is you can't watch that scene the same anymore after seeing the movie The Incredibles. Because if you wanted to lure Superman there to trap him with kryptonite, why give him your evil plan and the whole rundown of what you're planning to do? Just
was that in The Incredibles?
Oh yeah, they call it monologuing it. So like villains always monologue it, and that's when the hero can take advantage of it. And there's even have you seen The Incredibles?
I have. I liked it, but it's been a long time.
Like there's that scene where you have Frozone and Mr. Incredible sitting in the car reminiscing on old times, and Frozone's like, and he started monologuing it, and they have this huge laugh about that. Like quick Frozone was defeated, but he monologued.
Quick shout out to Cliff Clavin from Cheers.
Awesome.
Also in all like Pixar movies.
Nice.
Yeah, that's definitely a downfall with criminals, always giving their master plan.
Oh, Otis.
So at this point in time, Lex knows. Yeah, he's going to trap Superman with the kryptonite. Kryptonite has never had Superman, or Superman has never seen or doesn't even know about kryptonite at this point, right?
Yes. This version has never seen it before.
That is a pretty good plan. I almost forgot about that element until just now.
Oh, the second nuke?
Yeah, like that's kind of reverting back to what I was saying earlier. Like I never really remember his plan. That's something I always forget what the plan is. I always remember the consequences of the plan, but the plan just seems so, I don't know. It's got just many layers. It's watered down, but like I always forget what the details are until I watch the movie.
Yeah.
Like Batman v Superman. I know exactly. I can tell you in detail what Lex's plan was in that movie. And how it would play out. But this one, I can never remember what the actual plan is.
Yeah. I gotta say, this is the one part that's clever. Here he monologues it. He should have given a different plan instead of his actual nefarious plan. But he actually leads Superman to the kryptonite, trying to bluff and act like, oh no, I don't want you to find the detonator.
Yeah, that's
so like it's interesting because they do show you he's a genius. It's just kind of sad that he's not as menacing as he could be.
Yeah, this is a pretty good scene right here. See, like we needed more of this Lex throughout the whole thing.
Yes.
Mind over muscle. That's it.
Yeah, I feel like this moment where Gene Hackman was threatening Superman, it's that moment where Gene Hackman, like it clicked. He gets it. He gets this character. And so you have this great Superman Lex Luthor moment.
Right. And this would have been an excellent kicking off point to actually have Lex Luthor grow as a character, like, wow, enough with these small-minded plans, and like he could become more menacing now, and that would be a good evolution while keeping that hokey Lex still in the first part of this movie. I could see that.
Yeah, I could see that too.
They didn't do that, but I could see that.
Well, they tried to do that with Superman Returns, right? Because Superman Returns is the pseudo sequel to Superman 2. And Superman 2 ends with Lex being thrown back in prison. He was in prison for 5 years and was released because Superman missed his court date because Superman was trying to find Krypton, which is ridiculous. But ignoring that, that Lex has the harder edges and is more menacing because he's lost 5 years of his life. And so now his plan is more sinister.
Smallville, on the other hand, I'm guessing Shadow Vessel's talking about the Lex Luthor, the menacing Lex Luthor.
Yeah. That Lex Luthor starts off as somebody who wants to be a good guy and continues to get darker and darker and darker. And you're like, oh, Lex, please don't do it. Come back to the light, my friend. Come back to the light.
Yeah, in this moment right here, you're worried for Superman for the first time.
And I think they do a really good job with that, because in most things where the villain leaves the hero to die alone and walks away, it's like, dude, you're an idiot for doing that. But in this case, it's like, there's no other way to kill him but connect him to kryptonite and wait it out. So I'm going to go watch my nukes.
Well, not only that, but just even visually, not only the fact that he has kryptonite, attached to his body, via this big chain, but he's also in water and he's struggling for air. Like he's struggling to stay above, like just visually speaking, like you could see him like slipping any second now.
Well, it's like Unbreakable. Like his only weakness in Unbreakable was water. And they really give you that sense of drowning and that fear of drowning. And so they take his weakness and make it something incredibly relatable. And so, yeah, his weakness here isn't the water, it's the rock. But now he's incredibly weak, trapped in water, and he can't breathe. And that's a frightening thought.
See, this is what I was talking about earlier with Otis and her, like, becoming that, those, what do you call it? When a superhero is not a superhero,
anti-hero.
Anti-hero, yeah. It would have been a good moment for both of them to be like this anti-hero right here, or not the anti-hero, but like the person who changed their ways, because they felt bad for. Oh man, everybody wants the Super D, but yeah, I think that would have been a good opportunity for her and Otis to actually be that those two to do that and actually overcome Lex Luthor. I mean, we can sit here and discuss all different ways we can change this movie all day, but I do think that was a missed opportunity.
It was a missed opportunity because in the sequel, she's right back on Lex Luthor's side. But you could see in this one that she was very disappointed that Lex, this guy she was standing behind, didn't care that her mother was going to die.
Yeah.
And Superman became her only hope to save her mother. And you would think that's a life-changing moment.
Right. Well, and then Otis getting his ass beat constantly by Lex, it just seemed like those two things could have came together. Mercenary says, at least this Superman didn't try to lift something with kryptonite in his back.
Oh, Superman Returns.
Yeah, yes. Superman Returns.
I have mixed feelings about that in Superman Returns, because what I like about that is he is facing his greatest weakness and he is putting himself on the line. The strongest hero in the world is risking his life and he's saving the world. And I love seeing the effort that it takes for him to do that. Like acting wise, script wise, like it's cool. But you're also right. It's a giant island of kryptonite. And that little rock is enough. He can't get out of a swimming pool.
Right. And he still had the shard in his back as well.
And he had the shard in his back. Yes.
Yeah. It kind of undermines the power of kryptonite. Does it undermine the power of kryptonite, or does it make us realize that, situations like that, it's you can overcome things. You can overcome your own battles, through mental strength. Like
you just did a theological analysis in some way there, but I get it though, because it's like I have those mixed feelings about that scene in Superman Returns. A little piece of kryptonite takes him down, yet he took an entire island of it and threw it in space.
Yeah. Oh, Seth Draven.
What's up, Seth?
Stopping by real quick. Hope you guys enjoy the movie or are enjoying the movie. Yes, we are. For anybody who doesn't know, Seth Draven is my son. He's also a part of the Film Trigger every now and again. So,
and he's named after the movie The Crow.
Yes, he's named after the movie The Crow. Absolutely correct. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you stopping by. Love you. Oh, so what was the cliffhanger? The cliffhanger here, like Lois was not supposed to die here.
I don't know what the original ending of this was. I just know that in the original script, it wasn't turning the world back.
Well, no, the original ending was like that rocket that he sent out, that nuke they sent out. That was the cliffhanger this movie was supposed to leave off on. Like
but you gotta think there was another thing that happened on Earth, some other big moment of tension other than him turning the world backwards. But I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Maybe Aaron White does, and he could tell us the whole original ending of Superman the movie.
Yeah, I just know that what we got at the beginning of Superman 2 was supposed to be the ending, like the actual, like what would today would probably be a post-credit scene, like just the very last little, cliffhanger for the movie. But yeah, I imagine that this actually probably would have been the same, that.
Oh yeah, none of this would have been changed because this is awesome.
Yeah, none of this would have been changed. I think the only element they probably added here was Lois Lane dying.
Now, Steve, I don't know if you've noticed this, but go back to Batman v Superman and that scene where that dude looks like he's making a bomb, but what he's really doing is making spray paint to go spray on that Superman statue.
Is that what he's doing? What's the duct tape? What's the duct tape for? I need to know this.
Well, when you look at the newspaper clippings on the wall, there is something about Superman saving the San Andreas fault. So the next time you go back to Batman v Superman, look for that in the montage of newspaper clippings in that scene.
What?
Yeah, it literally says something about I can't remember what the exact headline is, but it's like Superman in the San Andreas fault. You have to go check it out.
Nice.
See, now that looks like Krypton. It's like a nice little moment of going back to Krypton, but now he's under the earth.
I was about to say that's a really good shot. Like it's
a real cool thing, though, in 1978 to show how powerful Superman is, to have him under the earth repairing the San Andreas fault. That kid right there is definitely in his 30s.
Oh, boy. I'm so glad
in Superman and Lois, there's a scene just like this.
Oh, where they do the railroad
replacement? But instead, what he does is he rushes to get ahead of it, and he tries to put the thing together right there, the rails together, and he can't. And so he kind of lifts it up, and he has to go behind each car super fast, and then he has to kind of set them all in place back on the rail, and they put it in super slow-mo, so you see him moving. It's like the movie looks like, or the show has this HBO Max budget, it looks like. It does not look like a CW show.
All right, so this right here, I'm guessing, is probably what was added in. Because this last little crack is what ultimately takes out. Or no, I don't know. See, I'm trying to figure out.
Because that's why they stopped filming Superman 2. And all they ever filmed, I think, for Superman the movie is the ending that we have. So it's not like there's additional footage laying around of a different ending. So I think by this point, they had picked this as the stronger ending.
Well, right, but I feel like this was the original ending. But like, because if you notice, Lois Lane is separated from everybody here. Like
Yes.
she's somewhere else. She's in her car doing whatever. You know, like maybe Jimmy Olsen, like all this seems like it should have been like the original ending, and then they added in that last thing. I don't even know. Like Lois Lane was probably going to die in a completely different way in Superman 2. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out like how much they actually kept in. And now that I'm looking at it, it seems like that they could have kept in pretty much all of this. The only thing that was
Yep.
added was Lois Lane dying and him spinning the world back. Because when you
Yeah.
look at it, him spinning the world back and her falling into that crack is really the only two shots that stick out from the rest of it.
Yeah. How does he know Miss Lane hasn't already passed him on that road? Seriously.
See, Shadow Vessel. She didn't die in the original ending, and they couldn't come up with a big ending. That's why they. Right.
Yeah, because like I can't imagine this movie ending any other way. Because the moment where she dies, and I imagine we'll talk about this again, but when literally he pulls her dead body out of that car, the emotion that he is experiencing is like falls on his knees and is holding her body. It's like it's powerful. So not only the power of him turning the world backwards is a strong ending. I think what made this ending so strong is the emotion, the rage, the sadness that he felt to turn the world backwards.
Yeah, but it does like stick out. It does stick out though, like because it almost doesn't seem earned quite yet. And this is really just diving deep and like thinking about how the movie's played out so far.
Yeah,
like it doesn't quite seem earned yet. And like knowing what we know, like if I wouldn't have ever known that wasn't supposed to be the ending and this was supposed to be the ending to the sequel,
yeah,
I would never question it. But now that I know and I'm picking it apart, I can
yeah.
really see how that stands out from everything else. Bays Mitchell, I am so late to the party. Just read the Last Son comic as a Donner tribute. Do you know anything about the Last Son?
One yet. No, I haven't read that one yet.
Oh,
To the
Shadow
new
Vessel.
people, 2 hours, 6 minutes, 4 seconds in.
Shadow Vessel. Yes, I saw that newspaper clip too. Rock on. Is that a bot in the comment there?
It literally says bot. Yeah. YouTube symbol. Hi. I don't know how else to interpret that. Hello, bot.
Hello. How are you?
Oh my gosh! It actually responded.
Oh, I just said, to find out who it is, all I got to do is click this link. All right.
Oh, yeah. Hey, all of you, do not click that link. You know it's going to put something bad on your computer. Don't click that link. It is cool to see Superman build a dam.
Yeah.
Like, granted, that little town looks like a fake little town, but to see Superman in all his power and all of his strength build a dam in a few seconds is pretty awesome.
He's got that, whew.
Yeah,
I knew that would work.
Oh, wait, I can hear Lois Lane's heart stop beating. Uh-oh.
I bet you wouldn't hate Clark Kent showing up right now, Lois, would you? You wouldn't mind having his help right now, would you, Lois? Oh, she'd probably yell at him for getting there so late.
Yep. Oh, yeah, and slap him. Clark, where have you been? I'm sorry, Lois. I must have fainted.
Yeah, sorry, Lois. I must have fainted as he's crying and slowly putting her back into the dirt.
Yeah.
Stop yelling at me, Lois. Man, I'm being such an asshole to this Superman.
So I agree with you, like especially with our knowledge of what Superman 2 was supposed to end with, and this was supposed to end a different way. It's kind of like the emotion here isn't quite earned.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change the fact that I love seeing the emotion on Christopher Reeve's face. The fact that it's not totally earned and Christopher Reeve pulls it off is a testament to that dude's acting.
Well, yeah, as I said, like I never would have questioned it if I didn't know the backstory.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of like knowing the backstory changes the view a bit,
yeah.
but it's amazing his performance here. It's actually kind of like his dad. It's that moment where he was all powerful and yet couldn't save this one person. He couldn't
save her. Yep. And that's when his mom asks him, "So you couldn't do that world spinning thing, with your dad?
Could have got him to the hospital a little bit quicker."
Wow, I see your priorities.
He's like, "No, Mom, I didn't spend 12 years in the Fortress of Solitude to realize all that I could do." I think one of the things I like about this moment, you'll see it here in a second, it says he's laying her down so gently, and as he's trying to lay her head down gently, and he has that moment, he's like, "Whoop," like, that moment. He just does such a good job with that. Like, it just, all of that felt so genuine.
Yeah, he brought his A game here.
There it is. That moment, yeah.
Yeah, this is a really good scene. Like I don't even know what to say. Like I'm sitting here, this like.
No, it's good.
Stuck on watching it here.
Well, because the music and everything. I mean, they made the music fade out, everything, and the performance. It all dropped at just the right moment, leading to this moment of complete rage.
Bays Mitchell says, "I was actually going to ask you for a Superman comic recommendation, Durbin."
I have two. Superman Birthright. I love it. I haven't read that in a long time, but it's very good. And I love how it delves into how X-ray vision actually works. So Superman Birthright is great. And then the next set I'd say is definitely Superman Earth 1.
Earth 1. Yep. You said that earlier, yeah. Yeah. That's what we just watched that. Yeah. When he launches in rage.
And there's that moment connecting him straight back to his father. It's so good. Or that whole emotion straight back to his father.
Could you imagine the actual effects of doing this?
It'd be catastrophic.
It'd be catastrophic.
He just made the human race extinct, honestly.
Yeah, because literally everything that stopped when the world stops, everything's still going like 700 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So it really would have stopped. Like all the oceans would have flooded all the continents. Yeah, it would have been. Well, but then he could have reversed it. So.
Well, what I'm wondering is this symbolic? Like, is he not literally turning the world backwards, but is it kind of like the Flash, where the Flash can time travel with his speed, but then he goes around here and turns the world back?
No. He's literally turning the world backwards. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no metaphor here.
Okay, no metaphor. He's okay. Well, here's the other question I have about this scene is, did he have to go back and do all the stuff he just did again? And if he did, where's the giant crack that's opening in the road? How did him turning the world backwards stop that giant crack from coming up on Lois? Did he do something different?
Or maybe it suggested that he went and did all this stuff really fast, and fixed all the things. Or we don't know how far he turned it back. He probably, yeah. I think that one could be left up to be to suggestion. Like,
yeah,
you can figure out what happened there on your own. Whatever makes it work in your head. Sure, that's what happened.
There it is. Yeah.
Nicole Lovecraft. Yeah, I've seen so many times, but that scene makes me teary-eyed every time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the performance in that whole thing. Yeah. Like, we could poke fun at him turning the world backwards all we want, but literally, you look at Christopher Reeve's performance in that. Yes, it is something that could make you very teary-eyed. Like, he does such a good job drawing you into what Superman is feeling and what is driving him to break that rule of changing Earth's history.
Aaron White says, yes, like all the tidal waves from Superman moving the moon in Superman 4. This is a man who has watched my review, because I did bring that up in that review. You move the moon, you just you moved a whole bunch more than just the moon. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I struggle with that. I really do.
Golly, Miss Lane.
Okay, but the reason Clark isn't here to see this is because you left him in Metropolis. You didn't even invite him. That's why Clark isn't here. You don't have the right to put that 2 and 2 together right now.
No. Well, I never see Clark and Superman at the same time. Lady, there's a whole list of people in this movie you don't see at the same time. Hot Take for Nerds says, what's also confusing is that he wasn't able to stop 2 bombs before the first time. How did he do it?
Yeah. The world back.
Yeah. How did he do it the second time? No, that's actually a valid point, and I believe I may have said that in my review. Like how he was able to turn the world go so fast that he was able to turn the world spinning in one direction, but he wasn't fast enough to catch that nuke.
Yeah.
Like that's definitely a little issue with, the continuity of his powers, but
definitely.
Yeah. It's one of those things, right?
Yep. You just got to go, okay.
Yeah. I think you and I have been poking holes through this whole thing, man. So yeah, yep. Chandler, it's definitely a good point.
It is a very good point. But we poke holes because we love. It's kind of like you love your little brother, but you pick on him. This is our little brother.
Well, and honestly, these watch parties would be boring if we didn't. So
exactly, yeah. But what an epic ending! Superman mysteriously wins as he's in space, flying over the Earth.
Oh, here he goes. Smiles at the camera, and we're going to use that for every damn movie after that. So that's good.
All right, post-credit scene. I'm kidding. There isn't one.
All right, well, there it is.
Yes, we just watch partied Superman the movie in honor of Richard Donner.
Yep.
Oh, man. I was sad when I saw that pop up on Facebook.
Yeah, as I said, I found out through Aaron White. I didn't know until Aaron White told me.
It might have been Aaron White's Facebook that I saw. That might have been the very thing that popped up that I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a part of life. He was 91. He lived a long, healthy life. He made great movies that we all enjoy and love. Like The Goonies being one of them. Like he created this legacy that now we can sit here and now we can sit here and do stuff like this. Because of what he left behind for us. That's why this is a tribute. He left this stuff behind for us to do this. So. I think this is the best way to celebrate his life. And yeah, so Richard Donner, thank you so much for what you've given us. Baze Mitchell, I think the idea behind the scene is the S on his chest is paired with the M on his boots.
He has an M. Oh,
yeah, that little
boots make an M. Yes.
So he's always grounded by his humanity. In that moment, he chooses Jonathan over Jor-El.
Yep. I see that symbolism, and I never caught that before. The M is on his boots. Yeah, man, the M is on his boots. Therefore, his feet. He's grounded, and he chose Jonathan over Jor-El. That is really deep. That makes that scene even better.
And what's funny is what I really like about Man of Steel is there was never this competition between Jor-El and Jonathan. Yes. Like in this movie, I really felt like, especially after this movie in particular, you just forget about Jonathan. Like he did.
Well, especially in the Richard Donner cut, where Jor-El's like, you can't even have a relationship with another woman. It's like, why not?
Yeah, what the hell is that about?
Yeah,
because Superman's like this council that was poisoned is now for some reason has rebirthed and now is controlling what Superman is going to do, and he's listening. Like it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. But my point is that's why I liked what Man of Steel did. It made no competition. They both work together. Just like in a modern household today, when you have a dad and a stepdad who actually work together to help raise the child. It doesn't have to be a competition. So
yeah. Yeah, and that's I think the original intent behind Jor-El. I mean, one of the original reasons Superman was sent there is, one, he would survive, but two, he could prevent what happened on Krypton from happening on Earth. Like, I mean, that's part of why he's sent, is to be a savior.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think Superman 2, and listen, I still have that trouble, Durbin, because I watched Superman 2 theatrical and then Superman the 2 Donner cut back to back.
Yep, I remember
So like
that.
I still have this problem where like I don't remember which one I'm remembering.
Yeah.
So like like I'm sitting there thinking like, well, I do remember in this movie, but like, am I talking about the theatrical or the
Well,
or
the
the Donner
Superman
cut?
cellophane S, that's the theatrical. If it cuts that, that's the Richard Donner cut.
Oh man, Nicole Lovecraft, good stuff. Glad I could watch it with you all. Enjoy the next great adventure, Richard Donner. Thank you for all the awesome cinematic adventures you gave us. Yes, I think Nicole put it perfectly. Thank you so
Yep.
much for joining us again, Nicole. Aaron White, buddy.
Yeah.
There was definitely competition on Smallville between Jonathan and Jorah. Oh, was there?
100%. But it's a good dynamic. Instead of that being something that's kind of irritating, like they took the concept of Jor-El and they made him very, very alien. And they made it even more alien because it's an AI in a ship. So the AI has a personality, but it's just trying to accomplish the program it's given to accomplish. And it's very cold, mechanical, and calculated about how it does it. So it takes Jor-El and it makes him a villain through most of the show until Superman starts to come to terms with his Kryptonian side. But anytime they do episodes where you have Jor-El made flesh, it's different. And you kind of get more of a human side to Jor-El. And so it's very interesting, the Jor-El dynamic in Smallville.
God, you guys definitely are selling that show today.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that's how Jor-El was played off in that show until
Yeah, he
you
doesn't
just said
pop
that.
up till season 2. So you gotta in the very end of season 2. So you have a long wait. But once they bring in that Jor-El Clark dynamic, it's fascinating. And in some ways, it starts off as this voice of God starting to call him, but then it just becomes this very cold, mechanical thing, just trying to get him to fulfill a purpose, which from the flesh and blood Jor-El was a good purpose. I want my son to have a life. From a mechanical Jor-El purpose, it goes, well, this is the life. It's got to happen, and it can't be any other way.
See, I never knew that. Like, I always thought the Man of Steel was the first one to come up with that, you know, downloading or Jor-El, showing up in a ship sort of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a Smallville thing first. Is it like the same or different? Because I know
it's different but the same. It's different in the fact there's no hologram projection of Jor-El. It's just a voice. And first it starts off as the voice projecting directly from Clark's ship into his mind, which is fascinating. And then it transfers to different things throughout the season because Jor-El will not leave Clark alone. He has a program. He will fulfill that program and make Clark what the real Jor-El on Krypton wanted him to be. So it's
and that's going back to Man of Steel. That's the great dynamic that they have with not only Jor-El being this essentially this program again, but it's actually the way they word it. His consciousness. They downloaded his consciousness into the mainframe, and like so you're essentially just getting Jor-El. And there's not this element of technology, empty cold technology.
And Man of Steel did a good job, like downloading, I guess, the real Jor-El's heart.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like when I say consciousness, it's his memories, it's his his thoughts, and all those things that
but the
created his
Smallville
heart.
one says the same thing. The first time he's introduced, he goes, "You're my father," and Jor-El answers, "I am his memory, his will." But so it's almost the same idea, but there's a coldness to it, and it provides this incredibly interesting dynamic, and it makes it harder for Clark to accept his Kryptonian side because he thinks it's all cold. And so he's scared of it. And so it adds this whole other dynamic and layer as he's growing as Superman.
Yeah, and then in Man of Steel, they Jor-El, instead of pushing this Kryptonian way upon him, Jor-El was very aware of the poison Kryptonians had, and he didn't push one narrative or another. He gave Kal-El, Superman, Clark Kent, whatever. He gave him the choice. You have to choose. You have to make this decision. What's best? You're the one that's grown up in this world. You know, I can tell you my opinions, but you're the only one who can really make a decision. You're the only one in the universe who has lived this life. So I think that's great, man. And all this, we wouldn't have had any of this if it wasn't for this movie right here. You know, yes, it has its issues. We poked fun on a lot of stuff. We had, a fun time laughing at this, that, or the other. But the point is, this is a great movie that really captured the heart of, of what Superman is and brought him into a much more realistic world. Donner successfully grounded Superman into a way that we can relate to him. So I think you did great. So we'll do one more comment here, and we'll end the show after that. Let's see. Brett Bays, that's shown when Lois tries to help make peace between Clark and Jor-El. The AI Jor-El plays the video of the real Jor-El explaining how much he loves him, and that's why the AI is the way it is. Okay.
He's describing season 10 of Smallville. There is this really great scene where, and it's one of the things I love about the interpretation of Lois on Smallville. She is bound and determined that Clark will reach his destiny and he will be unfettered. And so she really seeks to, even though Jor-El's mechanical, get a reconciliation there. And it's a really interesting episode, the way it builds up to that. So yeah, it's very cool. But like Steve said, to bring this all home, we wouldn't even be talking about this without Richard Donner's Superman.
And add that to your list. I want that list. I want that Smallville list.
Yes, I got to go through the episode list. Got to go through my DVDs, and I'll go through and I'll pick out the best ones. I'll leave out the worst ones, and yeah, I'll try to do that.
All right, because I want it now. You guys have sold it. I want to get. This is the first time I've wanted to get caught up on Smallville. Like all the other times we've talked about it, I'm like, I'll just never see it. But now I think I'm sold on it. So Durbin. Again, I'd like to thank you so much for joining me on my channel. Aaron White, Aaron White, thank you for essentially spawning the idea without knowing it. Yeah, we did it on Tuesdays, so you would be available for here. And I'm going to remember Tuesdays from now on, by the way, for you.
We want you around, Aaron. You're awesome to have.
Yes, you're a very supportive and very knowledgeable person. I love having that guy. Like, who's in that movie? Aaron.
And then who is Aaron that? White. He pops up. He's got the answer.
So thank you, Aaron, so much. Thank you for everyone who joined us in the comments. And real quick, right before we go, one last congratulations to Durban for reaching 11,000 subscribers today.
Yes.
Yes, and that's in 1 month. 1 month ago, it was 10,000. 2 months ago, it was 9,000. This kid is coming up. This kid is coming up. And not only is he coming up, he's coming up in the way he wants to. You're coming up doing what you want to do. You never gave up your integrity. And I respect that, man. And
thank you.
You're a lifelong friend. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. And I will see you Thursday on Matthew Haynes' channel.
Yes.
For a Loki season finale discussion. So
yes, that's going to be great. I finally just got to watching the most recent episode and it was awesome. So I really cannot wait for the finale.
Oh yeah, they tore me up in the comments section.
Really?
In the not here in our personal messages that we have in the group chat. I said some things about the episode and the comic book fans, Matt and Al just hounded me, and I'm like, okay, I have to rewatch it.
Week, so I had to ignore it because I had family out and I hadn't seen it, so I had to ignore it. So I had no spoilers. So I got to go back and read all of that now. That's hilarious.
Yeah, they really ripped me a new one. So all right, everybody, again, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Please go over, click in the description if you haven't already. Durban's link to his channel is in there. You can click there and go subscribe so he can come back in 3 weeks and talk about how he has 12,000 subs. So all right, guys, thank you so much and peace.